Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your Wednesday night on IPL. It is time for SOS. My name is Carney, and I am joined here by my buddy Rose. How are we doing tonight?
We are doing so well. Another SOS, 231st SOS here. I am excited. We've got some friends we're going to be looking in on their match here in just a second as it gets ready. I say let's not belabor the point. What are you excited about going into the tonight's SOS, this first match, Carney?
Los Inklings.
Our friends over at Los Inklings. Teresa equals Krakenmare Slug. Love them.
I am kind of intrigued to see what Grandroll is going to be giving us as well, because like usual, we are going to be starting with our two closest seeds here on round one. So Los Inklings being our 21st and Grandroll being our 22nd. I haven't seen much of, if anything, from Grandroll, but it looks like they did get a win in Mako bracket during SOS 229, taking a look at their Sendo page here.
They did. So not long ago at all, just, two SOSs ago. So I'm sure they're raring to go. To hope, once you get that Mako bracket cleared, it's like, okay, let's go upward. I do want to note that their Team Sendo page is giving me a little giggle. I see dread ringers as far as the eye can see. I don't know if we'll see 4 dread ringers spawning in. Never mind.
God, that's 4 dread ringers. You have to be kidding me.
Let's go. I mean, if there's going to be a map for it, I think it's this one on Mako.
Absolutely, and I do want to point out we're bringing out the Crab Dread as well, which is going to be huge for Mako Mart, especially when wanting to get control of those stacks. But I never thought in a million years I'd be seeing a Quad Dread Ringer comp, and Los Inklings kind of felt like they were a little off-put by that before immediately moving forward, taking that mid and getting that really nice lead swap, and they are still going too.
Yeah, Quad Dread Ringer did not turn into a quad upon them. Only 3 members went down, but that is going to mean they need to really pool their buckets together, go in together. That does mean they're going to have 3 Reef Sliders here. 1 is ready right now. Their 4th special is going to be that Crab Tank on that 3rd kit for the Dread. Here comes 1 slide, of course, with the adjustments to slide, and second one, whenever you do that explosion on the zone, it is not going to put out a whole ton of paint there. So I think that is going to be definitely difficult for them. But if they can use those explosions together to get in a lot of damage together, that's going to be huge. They don't have a whole lot of time left though. Going 10 seconds, there's a Reef Slider explosion. See, again, not enough to cap that zone. The 3 members are down, 5 ticks to go. Another special online for Los Inklings. That is going to be game to Los Inklings. Grandroll with the 4 Dread Ringers, not able to make it happen on the first game.
Yeah, no, those nerfs to the Reef Slider are really starting to show here. Like you said, just a whole lot less of the ink explosion that you expect from a 4 Dread Ringer comp, hoping for probably that Reef Slider cheese on that zone here. Now let's take a look first and foremost about how Los Inklings managed to just really get that really nice control of the zone. We see there that on that replay, the Reef Slider, once great in its glory of its ability to cap the zone in 1 hit, has been thrown down a couple of notches, which honestly is a change that I am not too mad about.
Me neither, and I play a lot of that exact Dreadringer kit. I don't even think that the Reef Slider on zone is necessarily a bad idea, but it has to be going for something more than paint on zone, because that was exactly what got nerfed the hardest with those Reef Slider explosions. You can still get a huge 70 damage radius, and if you do 2 of those together and they overlap, that will be an instant kill for somebody, so long as, they're in both of those 70 damage radiuses. So you can do a lot with that. I wonder if they're going to keep that up for Rainmaker Manta Maria, which is a devious map stage combo.
Oh God, yeah, Manta Maria Rainmaker. I was just talking about this in our stream coordination chat. I was like, there is no way you guys are making me commentate for Manta Maria Rainmaker. Like, probably. Oh, and there is the quad dread comp again. I'm really not seeing what exactly is going to be happening on this sort of comp, going coolerless, especially on Manta Maria Rainmaker, no less. I feel like it's going to be quite a detriment unless they are able to get some miraculous plays down in those tight corridors.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised that we don't have that other dread kit, at least like from one person here, just have beacons up the rest of the team on such a large map. But so far, looks pretty neck and neck to start. That crab tank, oh, I keep getting nervous watching them. Rainy Boots does see them, almost gets them from behind, able to sneak behind them, but is going to get taken out. But, you know, if you got 4 Dreadringers, that main weapon together, you got 4 big sloshes of two sloshes each coming at you, can be pretty good. But, you know, you've got Teresa on that heavy splatling, and Teresa's been playing that for a long, long time. It's going to easily outrange all 4 of these dreads. But if they can get a good angle on the heavy splatling on a map with a lot of places where you have a decent amount of verticality that you can play around with on a bucket, it could work pretty well. In theory, it should have worked really well on Mako Mart, but I think they just got taken out really early at the start and weren't able to recover from there. So we'll have to see how it goes for the next 3.5 minutes or maybe less going forward.
Yeah, no, because they have control of the Rainmaker again, and they're trying to do that funny jump, but Kraken is just on their tail with that brush, just going absolutely ham on that Rainmaker. Now, we do see that Kraken does end up getting that pick on that Rainmaker via the Killer Whale. We see Equals here just doing a really good job of holding steady on that corridor area with that Rainmaker. They do have the bubble up, and it's looking like they might be popping it there right in that corridor, hoping for some of their teammates to move forward with that Rainmaker. And with 2 down on Grandroll, it is looking like the time is now Los Inklings to shine, as we do manage to take the lead going over that funny jump, and we're looking like we're going to break check.
Equals is going to go down, but not before getting that check cleared. So really good way to start this, but it's going to really depend for Los Inklings what happens next, because Grandroll is looking to capitalize on their own counterattack right now. Everybody is up. Their 2 Reef Sliders take that back. There is 1 Reef Slider, 2 members down on Grandroll. The Crab is currently online, but getting challenged right now. That Dreadringer's going to be pushed out of position. Equals again pushing forward, but that funny, sneaky area can be so difficult to get past.
Yeah, and that is exactly what makes Manta. Oh, no! That's so messed up! Oh, you gotta hate to be the guy on stream falling to your death with the Rainmaker on Manta Maria. But like I was saying, that's what makes Manta Maria such a hard map to push through. There is a lot of really funky space to work around, and especially as you get closer and closer to that goal area, it is just really getting you stuck between a rock and a hard place. Teresa does end up going down now as the Dread Ringer barrage is non-stop. That Rainmaker not in a good spot for either of them to pick, but Equals does end up going down, and we're seeing like we're gonna maybe try and go for another push here. Now, Grandroll has not popped that checkpoint yet, but with that crab on that area, it's looking like they do manage to get it, getting it down to 61-63 with a 2-point lead differential. But with the pop from the Rainmaker coming from Los Inklings, they grab it and start schmoovin'.
I was really nervous for Kraken Mare right there. Kraken Mare had gone down to that spot, it would have been disastrous for Los Inklings. Is able to pivot the Rainmaker back to the right side. If Los Inklings does lose a few too many players here, that could prove disastrous in the final minute going into this. 2 Reef Sliders online for Grandroll. They are going to need to take some space. That's going to be difficult when they have 4 of the same main weapon, 3 of the same special, the only different one being a crab tank, which is going to get used up, but gets taken down.
But we do manage to see that Grandroll has grabbed that Rainmaker, and 3 down on Los Inklings now as they move forward, taking the lead under their control, and they are going for that KO, getting it all the way down to 8 points in the last 30 seconds of the match. Built like Grandroll, really just proving that as long as you have as long as you've got the dreadful I was going to go for something there, but it just kind of the words fell out of my mouth. But holy crap, Grandroll really just took that from Los Inklings and said, okay, it's our Rainmaker now. It's our time to shine. Let's get as many points as humanly possible and keep it that way. Managing to get a really solid win over Los Inklings, even if by kind of a fluke.
And that Reef Slider right there, you know, I gotta say, the Reef Slider being used for aggression in that street works so effectively, especially against something like a brush with its feet painted over for just a moment, and it's gonna cost just enough time that they're gonna get taken out there. Helping getting that tie 1-1. The tiebreaker is going to be on Splat Zones, Hagglefish Market. I've played a lot of Dreadringer on this map stage combo. I have never played it with 3 other Dreadringers, though.
See, my question here is, what specific Dreadringer are you bringing? Are you bringing Vanilla Dread or are you bringing Crab Dread to this? Because I feel like that Crab Dread is going to have so much fun on this map specifically. As somebody who plays V dualies and is quite accustomed to the way that Crab works on this map, I am really excited to see what kind of shenanigans we can get up to here.
Yeah, I think it is a struggle, though. I feel like Crab Tank's been feeling a little bit rough lately, and I think if Equals is going to stay on that blaster, which I think is entirely... if that Crab is ever used at an inopportune moment, that could completely negate any presence that the Crab has. So used well, I think it's going to be so good. Caught off guard by a member of Los Inklings, and it is going to struggle to get a lot of value.
Yeah, and we're just going right back into that quad dread comp combo here, moving directly into the match. We can see that not really much has changed on either side here. Now, with that opening push, we do see one member of Los Inklings going down, which means that Grandroll does manage to get a really solid hold of the zone. We do see Kraken does end up a trade, but Los Inklings is still 2, now 3 down. That Crab right in that mid area, providing that that cover fire for the rest of those Dreadringers to move forward, and it's looking like Grandroll has finally managed to find their footing in this thing.
Yeah, you know, this is a fun playground. If they're able to push without putting themselves in danger, which is going to be a little bit difficult. You see Krakenmare already trying to get in a pick right there, able to secure it. Teresa also pushing in here, able to put a lot of paint onto that zone and help from far away. That paint from Teresa, along with the paint from the hero shot, gonna be really, really important because those 4 Dreadringers can put out so much paint. So Los Inklings getting a fantastic shot off of that Trizuka. They're gonna want to have more plays like that to ensure that those quads Dreadringers cannot get in. They're going to have a lot of Reef Sliders here, but like we saw last time, if they use those just for zone, it's not going to be very, very effective against a, you know, pretty paint-heavy comp also coming out from Los Inklings here. They are going to get the lead, and now it is going to be up to Grandroll to try to get this back. Rainy not going to get the Zuka pick. It's going to go down to the Reef Slider coming in. A second Reef Slider hitting the deck. They are able to cap that zone, and now Grandroll back in control.
The second Reef Slider has hit the Splat Zone, you could say there. As we can see Grandroll moving forward, trying to get through those penalty ticks as much as possible. There's a 9-point lead no. That's an 11-point lead differential. I promise I know how to do math, you guys, okay?
That's hard.
Math's hard. An 11-point lead differential is nothing to sniff at, though, when you've got those Treadbringers just coming at you from every angle. But 3 down means that Los Inklings is going to be able to take that back under control. 30-34 now. They do have a couple of penalty points to work through, but with the consistent retaking of zone that we have seen from Los Inklings, it's looking like it's going to be pretty easy for them to either take and keep control of that zone, or, like we just saw there, get a 3 down off of Grandroll and moving forward into that little elbow area.
The retakes, I'm going to say it's going to be really hard for Grandroll here. 3 Reef Sliders is not an easy retake strategy, and especially with Rainy getting the Trizuka but getting canceled out by that Reef Slider. But of course, Reef Slider has that end lag, so they are going to get punished after getting the pick. That is not beneficial for Grandroll. Los Inklings is completely through their penalty points. They're ticking down. Equals, Rainy Boots, Teresa, everybody has got eyes on all 4 members of Grandroll. Kraken Bear is going to go down. They nearly were able to get that, but no, Grandroll able to secure that. They managed to make sure Los Inklings cannot run away with it just yet.
My teeth are clenched seeing that. Getting in the down to 2 points remaining before the KO. Well, Grandroll just moves in and takes the zone out from underneath their noses here. They are going to be working through those penalty ticks, but we can see those whale lines on the side means that the rest of Los Inklings is ready for a comeback, and fast here. We see Equals and Kraken both getting that zone from opposing angles, trying to pincer it in that beautiful blue color here, but Grandroll continuing to get control of the zone. The slider means that we have taken the lead and KO'd Los.
Slider for you. I cannot believe what we just watched. Quad Treadbringer taking it back. The 3 Reef Sliders should not be an effective retake strategy, and yet.
It's like, oh yeah, hey guys, what are we going to bring? Oh, you know, 3 Reef Sliders and a crab tank to Hagglefish Market splat zones. like some sort of I don't even know. That was just insane. We see the first Reef Slider there, the second one getting, I believe a pick there, getting Los Inklings 3 down at the moment, which means that just they were able to KO that zone like butter. That was just absolutely insane to watch, which means that by technicality, Los Inklings has lost their first match here. Going 1-2 against Grandroll, which I was not expecting, but I also wasn't expecting Quad Treadbringer.
I saw the page and I was like, oh, ha, ha, that's a silly, funny meme. And as I said it, I was not expecting to actually see 4 Treadbringers appear before my eyes.
It's like it's some kind of joke.
You know what? It was a strong, effective joke.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm trying to... Everything just fell on my desk, which is why I'm at a weird angle. Okay. Okay, we're back. Round 2 is coming up soon, and oh boy, if you guys thought Los Inklings being our first round was hype, then boy do I have some news for you, because we are going to be seeing big fat sea cows in round 2, baby! Let's go!
I love the big fat sea cows. I love and hate Neptune. I hate fighting Neptune from big fat sea cows. Every time I see Neptune, I'm like, do you want to be nice and throw the game for me? They're like, I love you, but no.
It's like, oh, Neptunes, you should be nice to me. Be nice to me. I'm just a little guy.
I'm just a little guy. And for some reason, I have a Trizuka-shaped stomach. Because I am just eating those Trizukas one after the other. Neptune,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner, baby.
Extremely strong V-Shot player.
Probably one of the strongest V-Shot players that I know personally, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah, I've been on the other side of it many, many times, and every time I'm like, oh, I gotta say a prayer real quick. May your Zukas miss.
Before we go into this round 2, I do want to point out the opposing team that Big Fat Sea Cows is going to be playing against, which is, and I quote, Suspicious round 5 DC at 3 minutes 59 seconds and 49 points, which is a mouthful. So I think I'm just gonna call you guys Suspicious Round.
Yes.
I think that's fair.
Suspicious Round it is. This is indeed a pickup team. I am not as familiar with most of the players on this team, but I do know that a couple of them have played for RIT, so coming from like the CCA side.
Oh, okay. So you definitely be more familiar with them than I, because I don't think I've ever done a CCA before, but I know Dark keeps getting on me to like do CCA at some point, and it's like, well, I'm busy. I work. Yeah. I think Neptune, actually, from Big Fat Sea Cows, was the one who sort of pulled me into CCA stuff and was like, "Hey, you wanna talk about collegiate Splatoon?" But yeah, so one of the players has been on the White Marlins for RIT. Another player is the captain of the White Prawns. I can't remember exactly like what the levels are at RIT for their Splatoon teams, like which one's higher or lower. But I believe those would be their two teams. Interesting. I don't know these guys, so like again, you've got a better knowledge of these guys than I do, but I'm really excited to see like how everyone is going to be playing here. So we are going to be moving into round 2 in just a second, but before we do, let's take a wee bit of... I need to take a little bit of a sippy really quick, so please pardon me.
Big sippy.
Oh, it is so hot. I'm dying.
And we're back. Round 2 going in. We've got a fun match ahead of us right now. We have our friends, as we mentioned, over at Big Fat Sea Cows against our friends who are going, look how squished that is. That is why. Those of you making your silly pickup team names, I will give you that this one's funny. This one does make me like legitimately laugh. It is long though, so suspicious round.
It gives me a chuckle.
It does. You get a couple like heartwarming points for giving us a chuckle as opposed to making us groan. So, little victories.
Plenty of team names that have done that.
Take little victories. Speaking of victory, I do know I've seen Victory having played for RIT, mainly on brushes. But I feel like there's a big difference between an ink brush and a paintbrush, and I've seen Victory play both.
Intriguing. That's like looking at somebody and like saying, oh, like I main, like dapple doolies and also dowsers.
Right?
It's like you do what?
Two opposite sides.
What? Oh man, I'm really excited for this first game though, because that's right, baby. It's my favorite match mode of all time. Mahi Mahi Resort
You're
Splat
so
Zones.
right. You are legit
I'm right.
so
I should
right.
say it.
Peak. This is peak Splatoon for me. My favorite map stage combo. And you know what? I know we had 4 Dreadringers last time, but this is a peak Reef Slider map.
Commentate these, and it's just so much fun. I really love it here, but let's get right into it.
Big Fat Sea Cows taking a very aggressive approach here to start. We've got our anchor pick we've got the pencil over on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows. Suspicious Round is having their heavy edit, so both going to be having coolers here. Suspicious Round does have their cooler ready to go, but no, it's just they're losing players one by one. Big Fat Sea Cows is a very, very strong team of players who will get those splats in, and you are seeing that here. However, they're going to go 3 down right here. It's just the back line. Mini holding it here. GXS is going to start going in, getting that bubble onto the zone, able to cap that in time. 20 points were remaining for Big Fat Sea Cows. That is going to give Suspicious Round a chance to reverse the momentum of the match so far.
Yeah, no, super duper solid first push here from the Big Fat Sea Cows, as we are seeing Suspicious Round does, like you said, manage to retake that zone and push forward, keeping a really solid hold on it. Now, we do see Victory has that stamp in that back pocket ready to come out at any time here, as we do see that zone neutralizes, and it is going to be flipped into Big Fat Sea Cows' favor here. 2 down on either side as we are moving forward. That bubble being popped in mid means that the zone is once again that glorious shade of blue here. We can see Neptune fighting off that decapitator there on that left side, just going it alone, which is kind of risky, honestly.
Yeah, it does get called out there, going into, what looked like 3 people onto Neptune. You can pull a lot of eyes while using a 52 gal. However, Neptune was not able to get a splash ball out in time to keep themselves alive here. Points are counting down for Suspicious Round, but that is going to flip back to Big Fat Sea Cows as Suspicious Round is losing members one after another. Almost all the members of Big Fat Sea Cows are up, and you can see Toto managing to use that slosher to great effect right here, able to guard these ledges right here and just flick from down below, really forcing Suspicious Round to have to commit to falling in and not being able to go back up when they go down. But it doesn't matter because Toto gets them before they even hit the ground.
Absolutely doing what a slosher does best in threatening those ledges to no to no small feat there. We see that Victory moving forward with that stamp is going to get caught by a pincer from Big Fat Sea Cows. Now, Big Fat Sea Cows going 2 down means that Suspicious Round is going to be taking control of the zone, but it is 2 up on either side now. We see Clara, if there does end up going down to that really well-timed bomb. Victory sneaking around on that left side, looking to maybe catch somebody off guard. Does manage to get a pick onto Lux and lives to tell the tale, which is absolutely insane there. The Sippies are out from Marg as we are going to be moving forward into that zone, and it is still neutralized, but maybe not for long, as we see that Big Fat Sea Cows is once again picking off Suspicious Round 1 by 1.
They are going to go down there again. Oh, but the Decaf able to get a really, really good pick. Surprisingly, right there, that's going to be really important for them. They have that hammer ready online. They've got a bubble ready. They have some things that they can use to help attack space, and able to go in right here. Victory able to use the bubble to safely deploy that hammer. We have a hammer fight. They're going to take each other out. But no, points are counting down for Big Fat Sea Cows. They get that game win despite the hilarious hammer into hammer move.
I mean, if you're going to have a duel, at least make it a hammer duel, so that way we can see it on the screen and have a really nice clip of it for us to commentate over. But like you said, Big Fat Sea Cows getting a solid KO onto Suspicious Round. We can see the just how it went down here. GXS on that decav, getting that really solid pick onto Neptune. Victory moving forward, and the hammer fight with, unfortunately, was just a big distraction from the Big Fat Sea Cows, grabbing that zone and pushing it all the way down to 2-0 for that KO. And now for something completely different. Oh god, it's Undertow Spillway Tower Control.
Oh, Tower Control, Undertow Spillway. I will say, I think that Suspicious Round, I think, was holding their own. They were having a hard time holding the zone for long enough to get a nice lead off of that. But they kept managing to pick off members of Big Fat Sea Cows at some pretty opportune points to help them with some retakes. And maybe they could make that work to their advantage on Tower Control Undertow. But I get worried on this map stage, because if you let it get away from you, I feel it just goes straight all the way to the goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the nature of Undertow Spillway, just as like a baseline, no matter what map, no matter what mode you play it on. But Tower Control, I feel like, is especially egregious, not only because it has the one useless checkpoint right at the very beginning there, but once you hit check 2 and check 3, it's basically game over. And unlike the better Undertow Spillway mode, Rainmaker, you can't really stall it in that U-bend hallway situation, because that's not where the tower line goes. It is just first and foremost kind of I want to say it's almost like a little mini Mako Mart situation, where the tower the objective line moves right where the enemy is just respawning constantly. So it's either really, really hard to break through that specific checkpoint because of how good your defense is, or you can just jump on there and then basically start an avalanche stagger into the goal KO. So it's Undertow Spillway. It can go either way.
I would not be shocked if Big Fat Sea Cows is able to get a nice early push through the first checkpoint, the second checkpoint, when they're making a break for the third checkpoint. At that point, I fully expect them to be in Suspicious Round spawn. Just being like, you have to get through us to get to the tower. Good luck.
Yeah, I can just see it in my mind already. I see Neptune just absolutely going ham in the spawn point, while everybody else is just escorting the tower gently towards the goal.
Yeah, you're just weird. I'm a tower princess. Go, my scarabs. Go have fun up there. I would not be surprised to see that happen. So I want to believe in Suspicious Round. Go, my Neptune. I want to believe in Suspicious Round that they can pull something out to get this. but I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for them.
I do want to see if they continue sticking with that decavitator bubble, because I feel like that'll be very good for them. Ooh, we have a well string. Ooh,
don't see that as often.
That.
On tower, like I'm never surprised to see it come out for like an undertow Rainmaker situation for that huge object damage onto the Rainmaker shield. That's not going to be a thing in this one, but I like it. They're getting that splat onto Neptune nice and early. It's 2 members down on Big Fat Sea Cow. Suspicious Round is going to be the first team to take it to that the checkpoint that's a mere formality. They're going to lose 1 member in the meantime. But GXS has a great bubble up where it was to help, force Big Fat Sea Cows to have to chew through that bubble, and it helped eat up some time. Suspicious Round is already at that second checkpoint, but no, the Ink Strikes come out. That is going to be a wipeout onto Suspicious Round. The whole map has opened up for Big Fat Sea Cows.
Yeah, you mentioned the Ink Strikes here. I do want to point out what Clareth is bringing to the table with that Prozen, with the missiles there. I'm not really sure about how that play is going to be working out for Suspicious Round, especially as we're going past that first checkpoint. Big Fat Sea Cows just moving forward with that tower here. We see Lux with the Splatana. We see those just absolutely insane plays from Neptune. Moving on to that U-bend, like I was saying, the distraction has started. We're past checkpoint 2 already, and we're moving forward into checkpoint 3. It is a delayed wipe, and Neptune has Flow Aura activated, and just like we were saying, it is just Tower Princess time for Minnie and Toto.
They're just hopping around, some drinks, almost more for just a little bit of cover. At that point, they're gonna get that game. They made that look easy, but like I have been on the other side of the Big Fat Sea Cows in a situation like that, and at a certain point, you're like, oh my gosh, they have so much momentum. I like don't even know what to do to stop it.
It's like one must imagine Sisyphus happy. The boulder in this situation is Big Fat Sea Cows, and the Sisyphus itself, I feel like, is Suspicious Round just being rolled over by the boulder going right back down the hill. Because, like you said, the momentum is insane here. Like, that is just absolutely insane. Like, wow. Kudos to the Sea Cows. I freaking love you guys.
I do love it. I love to see some aggressive Splatoon, and when you've got some weapons that hold forward, some players who are very good at both hitting shots and exerting pressure. Like I don't even think Neptune got a pick off of the Zuka at the end, but was just forcing their opponents to stay away. And that's really, they just needed Big Fat Sea Cows only needed a couple more seconds to take it home. So that's really all they needed.
Yeah, I mean, if you just see Neptune like in your base walking around with Trizuka, I would reasonably be scared too. Like that is scary, because like you said, it was just, the momentum was absolutely insane, but like not to discount the opposing team, because they did a really solid first push, and just
what a good opening. Kudos
to you guys for the opening plays. That's always the stuff that I mess up on, so like I love to see a good solid opening play. But now that we are done talking about round 2, we are already ready for round 3, because they are waiting for us, as per usual.
And we have over on the left, okay, so I know this is a pickup name. I know I have even commentated, I believe, this group of players using this pickup name. The return of Christopher James Horse Kreider. Or Creeder? I still don't know which way it goes. We've got Jesse, Koreki, Echo, OK Safra, some strong players here. Echo does a lot of VOD reviewing and coaching of a lot of different players. Has also done some coaching for the Stronghold Beginners Academy for people just getting into competitive Splatoon.
Right.
Koriki is like a terrifying Luna Blaster.
Listen, John Nintendo was like, okay, we need to nerf the Luna Blaster to hell. And Koreki said, oh, I didn't get the memo, actually. Sorry. Nerfed to all but Koreki.
Right? It's like, no, never mind. I'm still just that good. Over on the right, we have BOCCHI the Rock! I can tell that these 4 players do have at least some good taste in anime. That is a fun show. We've got Ryu. I don't even know this second name. I think Mio fell asleep and just keyboard smashed. But that's a cat. Inca Kola Illusion. I am less familiar with this group of players, but Illusion does play Tetras and has also done really, really, really well in SOS. Like has won SOS before.
Yeah, Illusion plays for Passion Fruit, which is where I know Illusion from. Because I think I've done commentary for Passion Fruit before. Unless I'm just making something up, like, in my silly little brain of mine. But, like, I recognize the name. And I think that's what counts.
Exactly. So they are gonna be getting in here to start soon.
I want to take a look at these map modes, because nothing as diabolical as these past couple of ones. We're going to be starting off with Barn Dime Splat Zones, followed by Clamblets on Scorch Gorge, and perhaps Ship-Shaped Zones if we go 1-1 on these bad boys. But, like, pretty typical Splatoon competitive maps. I mean, there's not really much to say about Barnacle and Dime Splat Zones or Scorch Gorge Clamblets. I mean, if you're familiar with the game, you already kind of know how they play respectively, and the answer to both of those questions is volatile and fast.
Yeah. Like all three of these maps feel very volatile to me.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% expecting just like a bloodbath no matter where you look here, because like Barnacle and Dime is less so bloodbathy on zones as it is compared to its other modes. I'm particularly thinking of Clamblets because holy crap, it is a little insane on Clamblets here. But Scorch Gorge Clams, I feel like, is also kind of an insanely fast-paced Clamblets mode, just because of how close the clam basket is to. I promise I know how to talk. I've been doing commentary for like almost the entire time Splatoon 3 has been alive, guys. I promise I know how to talk. You guys need to trust me. It's just the fact that the clam basket is so close to the ramp, as opposed to where the goal usually is on Scorch Gorge, I feel like is what makes it just absolutely insane to play on. Because, like, most of the time on Scorch Gorge, the goal of the objective is just so far back into, like, the spawn area, it's either nigh impossible to push up into unless a miracle occurs, or you just don't get the knockout. Like, in Rainmaker and Tower Control respectively, but I feel like I see a lot of really insane Clamblets play mostly on Scorch Gorge, because it's just, there are so many options to go up into that area. There's a lot of really nice places to shark around the ledges, around ramp. There's like the 2 openings you can either go, unless I'm forgetting, does Scorch Gorge Clamblets not have great areas that you can get into from the left side.
Yeah, you can take that grate on the left side to go
so.
left side of the snipe. So, yeah, that is always really, really good on Clam Blitz, making sure, you know, if you have somebody on your team who can threaten that area, maybe pull some attention away from the basket, can be really, really effective.
Yeah, I've definitely been in that position before where there is a distraction immediately to my right, and I completely miss the fact that there is like an incoming like 2 power clans into the basket. So definitely an effective strategy, I'd say. What I'm really excited to see is how and what weapons we're going to be picking for these sorts of things, because like, again, I'm not really familiar with either of these teams and their players, but I want to see Tetras. Like, as a dualies main, I love seeing the Tetras in action because it's...
We like never see it anymore. I dropped Tetras for competitive.
Exactly.
And I'm really struggling to keep up with that pace. And so a lot of people have dropped it. So seeing people make it work always makes me so happy. I can tell you that I would bet money that Echo on Return of Christopher James Horse Kreider is going to play a Stamper.
I like Stamper.
Maybe Stickers Stamper, but I've mostly seen Echo on Stampers.
I like Sticker Stamper. I'm not a Splatana player anymore. I did play Splatana like back in the early days of my competitive career when I still was playing competitive. I never ever got the hand of Stamper, but I love seeing other people play Stamper, and I'm really glad that Sticker Stamper is now a thing that exists, because it's just, honestly, it's a pretty good kit. Like,
you got that Booyah helping keep you up.
Exactly. And I love the fact that Booyah Bomb is on the Sticker Stamper, because it's like, I don't know, it's just like a match made in heaven. It's like the perfect marriage of like a main weapon with like a special. Gonna be totally biased here as a Gold Knot main, but giving Gold Nautilus triple splashdown was like the best thing to ever happen to me.
The ultimate get off of me tool.
Exactly! And it also helps because I'm a freak and I play Nautilus as a frontline weapon.
I'm bringing the get off of me to you. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mentioned Corky.
World... Oh, go ahead. I go first? Can I tell you my ideal Nautilus kit?
Yes.
You guys are gonna think I'm insane for this, okay? So Nautilus, Burst Bomb, Crab Tank.
Oh my gosh, Nautilus with a Burst Bomb? I wanted a Burst Bomb on a Dread, and I was like, it'll never happen. I was like, I would be unstoppable. It'll never happen, and now it won't.
Yeah. Like, come on, imagine Burst Bomb on a Nautilus!
Evil. Yeah, Corky will possibly play Luna Blaster, like I said. Generally, I've seen Corky play the other kit that has Hammer. A lot of people really ditching Zipcaster these days because it's just like, it feels so tough to make it happen and not just immediately feel like all you did was just die and you got nothing for it. I've also seen Corky play NZAP when the team really wants a support shooter and plays it really aggressively.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. Like you said about Zipcaster just like not being as big as it was in the, you know, like in the early, you know, Splatoon 3 days. The one weapon I do consistently see being used with Zipcaster is probably the brush. Like,
yeah,
I feel like the brush is just perfect with the Zipcaster, and a lot of people who do end up
Rain
playing
the
that
ink.
brush are really, really good at playing it with the Zipcaster. The amount of times that I've been like on Inkblot Art Academy, like Clam Blitz, and I see just like an incoming Zipcaster with like the brush just like menacingly standing behind me is insane.
Like, gonna take that.
We are having a little bit of a wait, which is why we're yapping so much to fill the space. But that's okay, because we're really good at yapping.
We
We're
like
just waiting.
Splatoon.
We do.
Yeah, we are waiting on Splatoon. It looks like we have our final player in now. There was like some substituting needing to happen and what's not, but that has all been taken care of. So we are going to get into games shortly, just now. And then, we can stop theorizing over what weapons are they going to play, and we'll actually get to see what they're going to play.
Sweet. I am really, really excited for this. I love competitive Splatoon, and I love commentating for competitive Splatoon so much. And I'm so happy that I was able to do SOS this week with you, Rose. I don't think we've commentated before.
We haven't. Our hair matches.
It does. Wait, hold on. Look, I've got it's like blue and purple and green.
Oh,
and it wasn't even meant to be like that. My partner had dyed it for New Inkland, and it just faded like that.
All right, Barnacle and Zone. Oh, okay. There's that Luna. There is that Luna with the hammer. We've got the sticker stamper Jessie on the bow. Jessie, oh yeah, I had forgotten. Jessie's a really nasty bow player, and Safra gonna be the one supplying cooler here. So actually, return of Christopher, the horse team, or horse girlies. They don't have any shooters. Nothing for super quick paint. You see that's gonna take out somebody like a Dynamo very, very quickly here. Echo also gonna get taken out here. The Tetras here as well. And right now, starting out, that's already halfway through the points on zone for BOCCHI the Rock's favor.
Yeah, and it's only been less than a minute since this match has started here, and BOCCHI the Rock is just absolutely schmooving into that zone, getting as much control as paintingly possible. I do love the pick of the Zimmy on their side as well. They do end up going 3 down, which means that the horses have taken control of the slot zone, which is absolutely a terrifying phrase, and I should never say that ever again. Safra on that Dynamo roller, and like, I feel like you don't really see Dynamo enough at Inca Cola from behind with the Kraken takes care of Safra. I was really expecting to see that Kraken just coming from behind with that specific shooter, and there it goes. We do end up seeing that the horses have lost control of the zone. A nice dub there from Inca Cola as well.
Oh my god, see that, just the movement, the quick shooting from something like that splatter shot, able to take out those weapons that are gonna be slower, and if they get some paint under them, gonna be much more difficult for them to get any quick paint under their own feet to get out of the way. That really, just completely killed whatever holding power they had at that point, having them go down one after the other. That Reef Slider is going to come out. Jesse's going to be able to get away from it. Multiple members being sort of like pushed towards the zone here, taking some different fights. They are ultimately able to cap that zone to apply some penalty points to BOCCHI the Rock. They are going to have 45 penalty points coming in here, but they still have the lead on here, and they're pushing in. They're not giving up here. This is how you play Barnacle Zones. You are playing for the knockout, because you never know. If you lose control of this and you don't have a good retake, your opponents might, you could get down to 1. They might just bring it back to a knockout and take it.
Yeah, no, Barnacle and Dime just is always just that volatile of a map mode to play on. You mentioned that, you mentioned the running away from the Reef Slider. I wanted to point out that the Reef Slider was actually running away from the bow. They were going the completely opposite direction, which I thought was hilarious here. We do see those Tetras just move in as we do.
Boom.
Nice double there. BOCCHI the Rock just getting really nice control of that zone, turning it yellow there. Moving forward into that hallway, just slipping and sliding all over the place as those Tetras tend to do. Inka-Cola popping that Kraken, looking to maybe try and
to the Rock. That's going to be a Booyah coming out. This Stamp's coming out. Then it's going to be 2 members down on BOCCHI the Rock. They've got the Inkjet going. I don't even know that they necessarily needed the Inkjet there, but they, with that Inkjet, was able to get a clean kill onto Illusion's Tetras. Echo calling for some backup here, getting pushed away, trying to stay alive. Gonna have to back up here. Penalty points are through for the return of Christopher Horses, whatever your full name is. They're still going in here. The Dynamo able, they can't paint fast, but they can put a lot of paint on that zone. That is going to be difficult to maintain at this point. They might have to give up zone just to make sure that they maintain specials and are able to get back in. Corki jumping into an unfortunate jump, though. This is the final minute left of the game. BOCCHI the Rock is going through, though. They could bring this to a knockout.
Yeah, and it is now or never as we're looking like the last 30 seconds of the match are happening now here. Echo gonna pop that Booyah Bomb, looking to maybe find some purchase in that zone, and the Horses have retaken the zone. And we're moving forward onto that snipe area. Echo, the solo fighter, does not manage to jump out before going down. Koriki here, just really unable to get any sort of purchase. The zone is flipping back and forth, 36-24 now. Last 10 seconds on the clock. If the Horses want to win this one, they gotta take control of the zone now, but BOCCHI the Rock just really holding strong that zone. The zone is neutralized. We are going to blue in the OT now. We've got to keep that zone in that blue color if they want to take it, but BOCCHI the Rock returns with a solid cap of the zone and with a solid win as well.
He did. They had a weapon comp that can get ink onto the zone pretty effectively. And while there were some weapons that can paint really well, for the return of I'll use your full given name, Christopher James Horse Kreider, it just wasn't enough at that point. You can see like Koriki was like trying to use the stamp to get paint onto that zone, because that is going to be more effective than that Luna Blaster. And it was successful for a bit, but this ending, you see everybody from BOCCHI the Rock is up, getting the paint on that zone. There's just this Dynamo trying, just like crying and flicking paint, being like, please, I can't flick faster.
Sometimes you're just a Dynamo and you are like having like the worst time of your life in zones. I'm not entirely sure if the Dynamo is going to be the right pick for Scorch Gorge Clams, but if it's the only sippies that they've got, then it's the only sippies that they've got. Like, you really hate to see it.
You do. Yeah. I do believe these 4, when they play together, this is typically the comp that they use. So I don't know if one of them are going to switch off to something a little bit faster. But if things stay the way they are going into the next game, even with that not being on zones, obviously having a lot of ink efficient and fast painters is going to be very, very nice for zones. But even so, just having a lot of those, paint, and even like a Tetra being like, I can move through enemy ink by rolling around. Like, that mobility is going to be tough for the Horses to deal with. But they're going to be bursting out of the stables here to start game 2. Clam blitzing it up on Scorch Gorge. No changes here.
No changes. I didn't know that these Horses knew how to play football. What the hell? BOCCHI the Rock does end up going 2 down in their first team battle. Koriki with a solid flow aura activated on that ledge, right where they want to be. The Horses are in fact playing football. They do manage to get a really solid power clam into that basket. The specials are coming out from either side, and they are going full throttle onto that ramp. Koriki just getting pick after after pick here, doing absolutely insane numbers. Nothing can stop them until it does.
Is Echo gonna jump in with that clam? They are not able to throw it in time. I think we're also getting used to how much longer these super jumps take.
Exactly.
That is gonna open the way for BOCCHI the Rock. They're able to throw in their first power clam, down to 74 remaining here. They do have a couple clams nearby, but still going in on this team fight alone is gonna spell disaster for Inca-Kola. Gonna go down there. We got resulting in a nice palindrome starting here.
I was just about to say that. I was like, ooh, 74-47. That's such a nice number lineup.
I love
Not
it.
only that, but the 26 is divisible by 13 by 2, just so you guys know how perfect of a number we've got going on here. We see that the horses are going to be using that Inkjet to get a really nice solid pick onto Mirage, moving forward into that main basket area, but they don't really have a power clam to follow up with it unless they use that free pity. Now we see Inca-Kola on that Kraken is going to be lured into that pit by Echo. Does end up going down, but Echo has successfully maneuvered that Kraken away from the basket, but Inca-Kola moving from behind catches Jesse with that power clam in tow. And we do see that BOCCHI the Rock is going to start moving onto that ramp area to try and get a push of their own going.
Yeah, they're passing clams for a little bit. BOCCHI does have the power clam ready, is very fast with that Zinc mini Splatling, is going to use the bubble to try to stay alive, but no, it doesn't go up in time. The reefs that are coming up, that is going to be a pick on Echo. Very, very strong pick there, but multiple members going down on both sides here. The Tetra going to do what Tetras do best and just try to, at this point, do a little bit of a shark. Maybe start going in now. It's going to try to pick a fight, but it's going to go down. But you know what? That is what a Tetra does.
I mean, that's just classic Tetris behavior at this point. Koriki manages to build a power clam, tosses it to the back line as per usual here. They do have the stamp in the back pocket, and that Booyah Bomb is going to be tossed out from that sticker stamper here. Not entirely sure where it has gone, if anything here, and it seems like the horses have been pushed all the way back onto their ramp. Sappho running out of ink at a really inopportune time as they do manage to go down, and Jesse with that Inkjet just barely staying alive here, making a really solid jumping in point for the rest of their team before they do end up going down to Inca-Kola's Kraken. And it is just an absolute bloodbath on that ramp over here, and neither team has managed to get another power clam into the opposing team's basket.
Not only that, we just watched a power clam for the horses break right there. BOCCHI the Rock starting to exert pressure here. Mirage with their backline, getting in some picks here with that pencil. Gotta use the bubble from their teammate to stay alive and start getting some faces into the basket. They're able to throw in one power clam. They need a couple more to take that lead. They're down to 52. They've got the clams coming in. Can they get them in? They do. Down to 46, down to 40. They have gotten the lead. Are they going to try to get more in? It might be wise at this point to try to stay alive. That Kraken's going to start pushing Koriki away. Pushes them, unfortunately, into the anchor. So that anchor for their team is going to go down. But in the end, Inca-Kola is going to be the one to get the pick on them. 30 seconds left to go. We've got an Inkjet online. What are they going to do with it to get this lead back?
I'm predicting here that we're going to be seeing not only those Sippies coming out, the Inkjet coming out as well, dropping that power clam, but they also have a pity in their possession if they can get that pity towards the basket. We do see Echo with a really solid push, moving forward, getting a Booyah Bomb onto that basket, but the two of the members of BOCCHI the Rock have met them halfway. It is 3 down. Koriki gets the solid pick, pushing that power clam into the basket, getting that stamp online, and the horses have taken the lead. 35-40 OT win. 1-1 tie. We are going to game 3.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. They said you better believe in us. You better have bet on us.
The horses have stampeded all over BOCCHI the Rock, just really super solid. Let's see the beginning of that last push. Echo with the Booyah, pushing two members of BOCCHI the Rock into the Koriki on the ramp. Koriki gets that pick, pops that power clam into the basket, moves forward with the stamp to try and keep BOCCHI the Rock back as the clams begin to move in, getting them a super duper solid 5-point lead in the last possible second, giving them the win, pushing them to game 3, Shipshape Cargo Company Splat Zones, which is going to be absolutely insane to see if we have been seeing how just high energy these two teams have been playing.
That game was neck and neck, and I hope that's what we see for Shipshape Cargo. Barnacle did go back and forth, but it felt like return of just Christopher James Horse Kreider was really struggling, at least with the paint output for zone. I still would not be surprised if they end up running the same comp that they did that worked so well on Scorch Gorge, just because that is what they tend to run together. But I think we're really going to have to see, are they controlling space around and ahead of zone to make sure that some of those strong painters aren't going to get a lot of value out of their paint. But I say that, but actually, Inca Kola on the Luna blaster here. We've got a 96 gal out from BOCCHI with a whole lot of swim speed on it. So maybe a little less of getting paint on the zone. Maybe perhaps we'll see some back pushes both on the zone right here. Going to come out right now from BOCCHI, but does get taken out, I believe, in a trade with Echo. Going to go back and forth at this point. BOCCHI the Rock is going to secure the capture of the zone right now, but Jesse going in here, trying to dodge the snipes from the pencil, is able to live right here. There's two members of BOCCHI the Rock. They both survive, but still, I have a feeling this zone's going to go back and forth for a bit.
Yeah, and I do want to mention the fact that, after the horses do go 3 down, that's gotta be a rough go. Inca Kola throwing that stamp into that little hallway area to try and get a pick. I do want to point out, though, that the Dynamo does have a better shot at painting that entire zone as opposed to the zone on Barnacle and Dime because of those really solid horizontal flicks. Echo does get a super solid pick there as we see the horses move forward, that stamp being thrown, and Safra on that Dynamo keeping control of that bridge. They have the high ground, and that is exactly where you want a Dynamo roller to be, providing paint support from the above, ready to throw Sippies into the fray at a moment's notice.
Now they've got to fend off that ink back. The Tetras are going to start going in here. Multiple members on this left side. Safra barely dodging that ink vac shot, managing to stay alive. That 96 cal is going to get taken out for it. The Reef Slider is online from the Tetras, but no, that's going to get canceled. It is not going to end up working out. The horses have run away with the lead. They are continuing to hold this down. Multiple people down on BOCCHI the Rock. Can they get back in time? Maybe. Echo's got to go down here, but they need to make a play for this zone. The Reef Slider's not going to cap that zone. It's going to go in all on its own. There's paint. The yellow side trying to get paint on here. They barely get it in time with the ink back also coming out here. BOCCHI the Rock still has a chance to get this back.
Yeah, no, a solid retake from BOCCHI the Rock, giving the horses a nasty 69 tick penalty to their name. But their lead is nothing to sniff at here. BOCCHI the Rock has got to get it under control and fast because the encroaching horses and their ink are starting to paint that little side area blue. We do see that the Tetras here are on that bridge area looking to maybe try and make something happen. That Booyah Bomb is going to be going down, but the zone is still yellow, at least for now, before the horses turn it back into blue. They do end up losing control just for a split second, but like you said before, that Reef Slider is not going to be as effective as it used to be before that nerf. Mirage here in a fight against Koaki does end up going down as we see that the horses have still control of the zone, but maybe not for long as BOCCHI the Rock manages to get it under their control this time.
Yeah, they've got the pick onto Koreki. BOCCHI using the ink back shot that is gonna fly off. There are multiple specials coming out now. I saw the Inkjet, we saw the Hammer. that Inkjet is going to find its mark here. And it's not going to take much to cap that zone back for BOCCHI, though. They still need to keep holding it. They need to get through those penalty points. They're not going to be able to. That's going to be another 35 penalty points applied to them that they are going to have to hold the zone through before they can get any actual points. Down to 5 to get the lead. They have 1 minute remaining plus possible overtime. They've got to wait for some members to respawn here. But look, man, return of Christopher James Horse Kreider needs to get back in here. Jesse got to get a good pick there. Those bow shots. Are they going to be able to get this back in time against that Inkvac, though?
It's really not looking good here. We are moving into getting past those penalty ticks. We see a super solid pick off of Jesse here from that Inkvac. That 96 really doing the brunt of the work here. But we do see the zone back in control with a stray Booyah Bomb being thrown into that area. 9-6 now, 30 seconds left, and those penalty ticks are looking like it's going to be in the favor of BOCCHI the Rock, maybe? But 30 seconds left, possible OT ahead, 1 down on the horses. We see Echo on that bridge area looking to maybe try and get some picks, but BOCCHI the Rock has had it solidly under their control, and the Booyah Bomb gets sucked up by the Inkvac.
Oh, they have to hold it for a little bit longer here. They're going to get like that. They get through it. They're going to get that knockout. They take this set. BOCCHI the Rock getting 2-1 over the return of Christopher James Horse Kreider, and an amazing turnaround there, working together with the Inkvac, rendering that Booyah Bomb completely useless.
They said we saw that Booyah Bomb coming once. It is not gonna happen again, baby. That Vac sucking it up like nobody's business while being able to maintain control of the zone for that long to make sure that those penalty ticks ticked over in their favor, basically. We see here just the incredible Vac suckage of the Booyah Bomb, you could say here. Moving into those last couple of seconds, that wipeout was just a touch aggressive. It was just kind of like tap dancing on the horse's grave there. I mean, they say you shouldn't beat a dead horse, but that horse was dead and beaten.
They were cleaning up at that point. Absolutely. Also, I would like to ask why we have BOCCHI the Rock and Kesoku Band in the same group here, considering Kesoku Band is from BOCCHI the Rock.
I mean, it's only fitting, right?
Wow.
Oh,
what? Man. What a round 3.
Yeah. No, I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time. I was like, are they gonna make it? Are they not gonna make it? I was really rooting for the horses there, like in that last sort of bit. I was right about my prediction for the Dynamo being able to cover the zone more easily than they were in Barnacle and Dime because of the not verticality, the horizontality of the zone.
Yeah.
The length, it's big, it's long. The ship shape zones like this, Barnacle and Dime is like that, and so the Dynamo is easier to do this than that, if you know what I mean. I don't play Dynamo,
on the wings.
But like, no, I do believe that is one of the prime spots for any backliner to stand on ship-shaped cargo code, like, because you are looking down from above. You have better line of sight. You've got better ink coverage from up there. The only thing that can stop you is, like we saw, just getting in the wrong spot at the wrong time and just kind of getting steamrolled off of that ledge, which is unfortunate, but it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Look at that clutch Inkvac, though. I think without it, they might not have won that.
I wasn't expecting them to win that because I thought for sure that the horses were going to overtake them in that moment with the Booyah Bomb. I saw it becoming, I saw it being thrown, and then the Inkvac just swings up and like sucks it up, and I totally forgot like for a moment that Inkvac can just do that. They can just eat a Booyah Bomb for breakfast and be like totally fine with it, which is insane to me.
Yep, it's like num 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 num. That's mine now. I'm gonna eat it up, eat it up, eat it up, eat it up. Like, they cleaned that up in a very, very close match. I really can't think of a better way to end off the group stage of an SOS.
Absolutely. And not only are we ending off the group stage of the SOS, because we've only got a limited number of teams tonight, we are going to be ending our block as well. Rose, it was such a pleasure to commentate with you for the very first time, and I look forward to many more commentary cooperative moments in the future. But you guys do not go away. We have the absolute goats of commentary coming your way, because Ellie and Rocket are about to be on the mic to bring you guys the bracket stages of this SOS. So thank you guys so much for having us here for the group stage. Again, my name is Carnival. Carnival or Carney, legal, like full name myself. That's scary. You can find me on carnify.bside.social, anywhere you get your Splatoon streams. I am usually there yapping alongside. Find me at New Inkland whenever that is running. And find me on Discord, chat me up. I am here to talk whenever. Where can we find you, Rose?
I'm Rose, legal name Rose of Battle, full name there. If we want to be formal, you can find me at that full name over on Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky, and if you're going to be at Gridlock in New York City in a couple weekends, then you can see me there. It's been a pleasure, Carney. Can't wait to chat about Splatoon together again. We will make our way off now. Don't go anywhere, because as mentioned, we have a set of really awesome commentators coming up for the bracket stage of SOS.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take. Look behind your back. Chase a light when the world is getting darker. I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers. Standing in the shade, going louder. We are all one color, standing in the way.
Hello everybody and welcome back. You know what time it is. It is swim or sink time. This time edition number 231. A little bit of a special one here. We have cams on myself. My name is Rocket, joining me Ellie, and we'll be looking now at group stage here. Great White as usual, looking at I Wish I Was Taller versus OCE, but this time we have a longer name.
For various reasons, mind you. Strong team coming out from Australia, New Zealand, Oceania, so I can't say I know a whole lot about them, but definitely a strong contender here, and facing off against I Wish I Was Taller being, I think it's Tan, Tufa, Zoro, and Luck, so, I mean, familiar names for the SOS bracket, so, you know, nothing too unexpected here.
Yeah, I Wish I Was Taller. Those two members, Tan and Tufa, you were kind of mentioning as well. They've been playing with each other for a while. If we remember the team Coral Convergence, that was the team name before they disbanded, and the remnants of them went to I Wish I Was Taller. And I think they had also initially played with a team called Boom, if I'm not mistaken, that was also running a lot consistently in SOS. I believe they did get second place in the 209th edition, but we'll have to wait and see what they bring out here. Tufa very much still on that blast. We typically expect to see them on that. And we see an Explosher on the other side from the OCE team.
Alright, we see a freaky composition coming out of OC, but this time we have a longer team name for various reasons, being the V-Sploosh and Custom Explosher, so interesting to see how that goes. Definitely hard to deal with, all those curling bombs helping the roller get in very deep, so something to look out for from their side.
Yeah, a lot of poking ability, which is exactly what you want on a map such as Macomart, as that Explosher just raining down ink from above, very complemented nicely by that Tri-Slosher and that roller that can very much play these angles really effectively. Luck has the ability to go in as well with those dualies, that Crab plus the Pro, that range and fast combination you have, plus the specials that they can bring as well, can have not only great retake but holding pressure. But we have initially at first I Wish I Was Taller with that first control of the zone. 3 specials online as well, looking very poised for a strong lockout.
Yeah, OC had a pretty strong first push there, but, you know, I Wish I Was Taller comes right back in and starts their lockout of their own, taking, 2 down and setting up first on this right stack. But right now they don't have very many resources, and you see the pen go down off screen, so right now they're about to lose a little bit of stability from someone behind them, that being Nex and Breadchan on the roller, managing to get the reclaim here for OC.
And you have that Sploosh going in and being that distraction role that you typically see out of those closer range weapons like a brush, just making sure that the attention is always going to be on them, or at least somebody over there from the OCE team is just taking a look, or they could just cause just some havoc being in that backside. Samuel just trying to poke away, not being able to get that pick onto Tufa. Splashdown available as well, finding another onto Loose Goose before going down themselves, but with that still a strong hold from OCE here, with Luck being pushed to the brink, just forced to try to live to fight another day. That Crab going to be very crucial on these retakes, but with them going down there, that Crab no longer a factor. Time going to be running out here for this counter push, as now I Wish I Was Taller just has to wait for the rest of their team to come back on this final attempt.
The Crab and the Splashdown going down super detrimental, so it's all up to 10 now. That Booyah Bomb, see if it manages to get them in the zone. I mean, they do have control of that left stack, so they just have to apply some paint now, and the Explosion down 2 means that they're going to be able to secure the zone. Buy them 66 penalty points, and now they're back in the game, but 9's a hard push to beat, so, they got the work cut out for them.
Yeah, it very much is so, but you do have the specials, like I mentioned. Luck has that Crab just poking away, just trying to see if they can just help in any whatever fights they can possibly take. Tan cleaning up on Nex does allow I Wish to just be able to hold on to the zone presence, but that Booyah Bomb coming online as well can provide just that extra oomph to potentially swing things into their favor, but you already have your dualies going down on that right side.
Yeah, not so good for them to go down there. The Crab being an extremely valuable resource to lock out with, so them going down is going to leave that right stack wide open for Loose Goose to lock into Explo and drop that Splashdown. It's going to give him a pretty good secure, hold of the zone there. And now Breadchan's moving up on the right stack and pushing Luck all the way off. This is a huge position for them to take. Holding that right stack is going to be very hard for them to lock back in without control of that place. So it's good out of OC.
Yeah, and always moving around too with Brecha now moving all the way to that left side with Cooler as well, so they can afford to take a little bit more of those aggressive fights, and you see them there being able to clean up onto Tufa on that left side, but with 2 going down, I Wish I Was Taller does have an opportunity here to get into that zone right back. You only have Samuel left alive, and Tufa cleans that up very nicely. A delayed wipeout to buy I Wish I Was Taller a little bit more time to get in their specials. You want to have that Crab online and that Booyah Bomb here soon, as the scrum can very much swing the tide of things. Tufa has that splashdown to possibly use here. Does get traded out onto next, but Cooler being popped on either side. These specials and fights should happen pretty quickly.
Luck so deep in their base, managed to force out the splashdown, which was a huge resource that they can like instantly claim the zone with. But that's another 3 down, and that's huge, like solid control for I Wish I Was Taller. So I mean, unless a miracle happens, this looks like it's going to be a lead swap and possibly the game coming out for I Wish I Was Taller.
Absolutely, Ellie, but now this is the last chance that OCE has, all just scrummaging onto that left side, but the last second Booyah Bomb from Tan very nicely spaces that out, and what a comeback behind victory it was for I Wish I Was Taller there, being able to find a little bit of their footing. Just some poorly timed picks on their side was what put them down to so great, but they were able to recover, able to regroup, and just narrow down the potential entry points for OCE, as they were just left to move to that left side, and then once that Booyah Bomb hits, there's just no space to really enter in from.
I want to give my flowers to Sorrow and Luck there. Like Sorrow, you know, on the pencil, not a weapon that you typically expect to, you know, be able to hold its own other than like dot Q, right? Managed to get a triple there, and like I think without their skills there, they would have lost like a lot of control and had more trouble getting back in. Like, you know, they got pushed to 9, so they'd had some troubles there before, but also for Luck. Luck went so deep behind enemy lines, managing to force out that splashdown, and I think that was the singular play that won them the game. Like splashdown on Mako Mart, not such a huge zone, pop that thing, control's all yours. So managing to get that resource, you know, off the board, incredible play at Luck.
Yeah, just forcing out those specials like you were mentioning, and just forced to be using those resources pretty early, just in opportune times. There's a lot of moments in Splatoon where you want to control the flow of your own specials, and you saw there like being able to force down that splashdown, and then being able to have the resources yourself, such as Tan's Booyah Bomb, and then being able to hold firm on a pen. These are some very underrated skills that players at these levels just have seemingly just constantly gone better and better and better at, and it's beautiful to see it all play out there. You see the comeback just building up as we move on to our next game. This next map mode provides a little bit different of a flow. We are going to be moving to Clam Blitz. I believe it would be Scourge Scores. That will be the next game map mode that we'll be taking a look at.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if there was ever a map for OC to win, I think it'd be this one. Like, it's such a good roller map, and such a good map where you can just, like, lose sight and lose track of players such as, I forget the names, I'm, like, terrible on the mic, but the solution and the roller, I think they're going to be very difficult to keep track of, and, you know, getting those players getting behind you, probably going to be terrible, and I don't know. So if there was a map that plays into OC's favor, that'd be this one.
Yeah, that mobility, especially that bubble from Bread Chan, is going to come in huge. Loose Goose switching gears a little bit, moving over to a different Explosion kit for the rain, maybe a little bit more sustain with them, but also next onto that heavy Splatling as well, providing a little bit more of that paint aggressiveness just all together. I Wish I Was Taller does have the balance comp in terms of just being able to hold firm on lanes, but you already have that heavy Splatling going down on OCE, so they could lose some ground here on this early fight.
Now, I don't usually like Vex Flow, but I think the sensors is going to be so good because, like, you know, last game, like I said, Luck and Tufa getting so deep into the enemy lines is what costed them that game, so that sensor is going to make it real obvious to know where those players are. But, I mean, right now they're getting pushed up really far back and get separated there. Breadchan going down alone. Just going to be the first break the basket for I Wish I Was Taller, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a very long one. Tufa wisely choosing to back off here, and that's just going to be a first basket break at 80 points.
trying to hide from those point sensors like you were just mentioning there, but the wave breaker coming from that heavy splatling, which is another detection tool that OCE is bringing out here just to be able to stop those two aggressive players like you were mentioning. They're trying to control the game and play into more of their own standards. Luck does have this crab available to potentially switch tides, just dodge rolls, and Breadshan just waiting there for them though, cancels out that crab. That is a crucial pick, now swinging momentum back into OCE's favor, and Breadshan has a bubble up as well, catching Tufa out and continuing to move forward with this just very aggressive presence. A ball though needs to be formed in order for them to score, or else this push will be for naught.
It was such a strong position, but the inability to put clams together is going to force them out right back into the choke area. So all that pressure, all that momentum gone. That's going to be 2 down on their side now. It's going to swing back in the other way for I Wish I Was Taller, and it's their turn to push. But not if they get caught up by this roller. The roller does find Luck, and probably going to not find a pick on Tufa. So, it is still going to be the opportunity for I Wish I Was Taller to push, but it's, infinitely less strong than what was before that excellent start coming out of Breadshan.
Yeah, we're seeing both teams be caught out in less than ideal positions, just not being able to really execute on getting to that elbow position, which is seemingly the hard part, but the easy part, which is being able to get the clams and just get settled in, hasn't really been the success story for either team. So we're reset to this neutral position where halfway through the game, still the very slim lead for I Wish I Was Taller, with them having that power clam, but no power clam to be formed on OCE side. They do have the pity to work with, but Nex is the closest person to that ball, just waiting to see if they can get more of a secured mid presence. And nice pick onto Tan there, but Tufa right there for the counter themselves, slowing down that momentum as we are yet again left to this standstill in mid.
Yeah, just trades back and forth, and just these picks are not making players, or both these teams, unable to really get a push going. This bubble might be what starts it, but again, canceled out by the Booyah Bomb. So it's, again, a neutral state, waiting for one team to get in. Breadshan gets a nice pick on the left side there onto Tufa, which is, taking down a strong aggressive weapon, and could be a chance for the move up. But I just feel like we lack resource right now. And look at the flank coming out from Luck. Look on the left side, or on the right.
Yeah, Luck just trying to force some things now, knowing that they don't have that crab. They just used it to be able to gain more presence and can now take those risks. Just try to force anything here, because a 20-point win with just one power clam scored is a very rare thing to happen. So they know that they have to get a couple more clams on the board, because it's only a matter of time before OCE gets some momentum back onto their side. Now with a power clam of their own, plus that pity as well. Actually 2, as a matter of fact, as this Booyah Bomb is thrown into that elbow with that ball falling into the abyss below. I Wish I Was Taller, not knocking at the doorstep once again, just trying to see if they can find any sense of a weak point. Breadshan flanking on that left side, throwing another wrench into the side, getting outs too, and yet again, for seemingly like every step that a team takes, it's just sent right back into this mid area.
But they trade back out! The splashdown's gonna take down 2, and it's just Breadshan up. So what seemed like an excellent strike converting to a strong push goes back the other way again. And now they're jumping in with a lot of clams. They can build a ball here. Luck has to get in though, so I have to watch out for the rollers from behind as well. This crab is not so safe. Nailed by Breadshan, and they're 2 down now. Like, there's not a single push in this game that manages to go the distance without it flip flopping back the other way.
Yeah, you have momentum, I feel, on the side of OCE, though, because you're just constantly having them hold the line despite the advantages that I Wish I Was Taller was building, and you gotta think that the momentum is really starting to build, especially now with that cooler that Samuel put out, these fizzy bombs coming in. You have Breadshan with the Booyah, with the bubble as well, just waiting in the wings. Just you need to get those clams in a opportune position. Tan does end up trading out with them with that Booyah Bomb. Here comes the jump in, but Samuel does fall with that. That might have been the only opportunity that OCE had. Next, also falling on that left side. 10 ticks left, and it doesn't look like that OCE will be able to get in another ball as Breadshan just desperately dives towards that. You do have one in the back line there coming out from Loose Goose on this the explosion, just trying to see if they can find anything, but here is overtime. Rain is looming, really the only special that OCE has. That cooler actually now being popped as well to move forward. Already you lose your heavy splatling. Oh, no. Down goes Breadshan, and down goes Loose Goose. That is the third, Samuel being the last, as Nox is trying to go in and not being able to penetrate through that elbow area, and a very, very low scoring Scourge Gorge games goes into the favor of I Wish I Was Taller, making the set a 2-0 victory for them.
Yes, okay. Scorch is one of those maps where you get in and the pushes are like you either don't get it at all or it's like a strong push. I've never seen like like such
Right.
a low scoring game out of them. I want to give my flowers to Tan. I feel like every single time Breadchan got set up under that basket and put that bubble down, each one was always canceled out by the Booyah Bomb at the perfect time. And so whenever they had control of that essential choke point on that ramp, they just never were able to have that push come to fruition because, you know, perfectly timed specials coming out of Tan and Crew. So yeah, it's gonna move them up to semifinals and in pretty strong form, I'd say.
Yeah, a lot of trades, a lot of specials. You saw the presence of Breadchan throughout the entirety of that for OCE. I mean, at least we saw on stream 2 crabs being completely denied by them, and all of I Wish I Was Taller's continued pushes were canceled out by them, but who knew? It only mattered about that one singular push, a very defensive game, and like you mentioned, I Wish I Was Taller moving on, very familiar territory for them.
Yeah, so it's going to be up to, well, it might be a minute. We're looking at Ball Up Top versus Grandroll in round 1, and then they're going to go up against We Are Fun. On the low, they're probably going to win that one, so it's going to be likely I Wish I Was Taller versus We Are Fun being Giddy Grizz or Captain Happy. Maya, who I don't know, but Noah and Kiki we are very familiar with. So in 12 business days, we'll get to see that match, you know, happen. Right now, we're waiting on Blessed versus BOCCHI the Rock to fight against Moving Slizzy. So I wonder if we can jump into this quarterfinals match between Blessed and BOCCHI the Rock.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on word from that from our wonderful streamer Justin here. We're just waiting on word to kind of jump into that, but at least for looking at Ball Up Top versus Grandroll, like you mentioned, 1-1 set there. Winner moves on to We Are Fun. And it does look like we may be able to sneak in here for Blessed and BOCCHI the Rock, so we will wait for word on that. But again, kind of going back to that match with I Wish I Was Taller, that was just very, very good defense just throughout the entirety of it. It is very rare, even at that level, to just be able to hold a team down for the entirety of the match, despite several wonderful attempts to move into that elbow area, despite having a bubble in your face and a roller in your face, to just stay calm, not overfeed that roller, and just play your space, play the range of your weapons. And we saw that just wonderfully played out from I Wish I Was Taller, just constantly poking away and just providing so much covering fire that it just left no room for OCE to move in.
But I'm not even sure that's how I'd interpret it, because like the game, like we kept going back and forth, and it wasn't even just because like I Wish I Was Taller had such a strong hold, but because like when they were trying to attack too, on like conversely, OCE was able to shut down the pushes in the exact same fashion. Like I don't think either team managed to get like a strong hold at all in that game. Like no team had the proper footing, and so I think there was a degree of luck that they were just able to get that first ball in, and fortunately for them, it just never swung back in their direction where they were able to push further than that.
Yeah, I mean, both sides had the opportunities, and they just had, like you mentioned, with luck, one way or another, just something went the way of them, just slightly better. But let's put that in the past a little bit as we move to our next set. Like we were talking about, we will be able to jump into Blessed versus BOCCHI the Rock. Very familiar names. Bonk, of course, like their name suggests, that roller, and that roller, I believe, from Pathway, a very, very strong player there, just being able to cause a lot of disruption in their own right, as well as Ryu on the other side for BOCCHI the Rock, of course, from Usagi Fan Club.
Sorry, that did not click at all in my brain. Yeah, Strong Team's coming out. Like Bonk has been a player in this like high level scene for a bajillion years. I think okay, if memory serves correctly, they were playing with Inca Cola, so not to say it's a grudge match, this is just some weekly, but you know, these players are going to be familiar with one another. I'm frazzled because I was like looking through the rosters, looking at Illusion, and I thought that was like the Squeezer player that left like a while ago, and I was like, my eyes like widened and my spirits shot up thinking that they returned, but I don't think it's the one. I think this is Illusion Tetra, which I don't know, so you know, womp. But on the side of BOCCHI the Rock, like strong players too, like Ryu, also from Usagi Fan Club, and like I said, Inca-Cola and Mirage from Hypernova. So, yeah, I mean, strong across the board. And this is still going to be a, when it's quarters set, so it's going to be on the maps that we just saw, being Zones Mako, Clamp Scorch, and I'm a Fraud. This being Zones Umami, so, good maps all around.
Yeah, still have that zone sandwich. Again, the question as well, as we saw in that previous set, a strong backline, one that doesn't falter in the signs of pressure in front, is always crucial. Just being able to hold firm, be the backbone of a team. And similar story here with Mirage being that player formerly from the cafeteria, and that's something that I feel like a skill that all backlines really need to be developed, is just have that little alarm in your head of just saying, okay, can I really stay here? Can I really hold this line? Or is it time for me to go and really hold this presence? Because they are the fallback option. That is the definition and the job description of a backline.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, they know that there's going to be a large target on their back. Every single special is going to be thrown out at them. So they have to know when to get out of dodge. And I mean, you can also play like Zoro or just like shoot them. So I think that tech is underrated, and I think the distinction between a good backline, one that just lives, and a great backline is one that equally aggresses as much as the rest of the team, is probably what makes a difference here between these two pencil core teams.
Yeah, the psychology of simply just kill them, just run them down, is a very strong one. Or just simply, just back diff them at this type of level. But we'll have to wait and see if that is going to be the win condition for BOCCHI the Rock, and if that is how it's actually going to play out on an execution level. Because, at this rate, we know these players, we know we know their skill levels, quote unquote quotations, but can they actually put it all together within these matches when the ink hits the turf, when the zone starts ticking down? Can they get back into those retakes if they're put on the back foot?
Alright, so I'm looking at the names in this lobby, and we're going to have a Sisyphean challenge figuring out who's who.
Fun.
Alex Rocky's going to be Tinny or G-Vic Tinny. Don't know what's preferred. But, yeah. They opened their weapon screen, so everything I was going to say is just out the window now. But yeah, there's some choice names in here that we're going to have some trouble following along with. But we did finally join the lobby, so in about 90 seconds or so, we're going to start our first game being Zones Mako again. Wondering who this is going to favor, if any. Zones Mako is a pretty neutral stage. Like, we all enjoy the stage, but I think it does play into the favor of roller players, blaster players, slosher players. So, two of which on forgot the team name, but Tinny's team seemed blessed. So I'm wondering what BOCCHI the Rock's going to bring out as well to counter that. Right now Blaster is pretty prominent in the meta. Slosh has been around for since the start. So it wouldn't surprise me to see these weapons. They're not exactly one trick only things like sword or squeezer. So yeah, interesting to see what comes out.
Right, and when you mentioned those category of weapons, and you first mentioned roller, of course, Bonk is right there, just mentioning that I believe they pretty much exclusively play any type of roller. Will it be the Splat roller or the Carbon? It will be the Carbon, as well as Alex Rocky on that Luna Blaster. Luna Blaster actually coming out from both sides. The key real distinction there, you have the Tetras from BOCCHI the Rock, as well as BOCCHI themselves on that Splash or that Crab.
Yeah, it's going to be Ryu on the Splash and Illusion on the Tetra. I wonder how the Tetra's going to play into this team here, having a pretty poor matchup into the Luna Blaster and arguably even the Roller too. So, the answer is going to be 3 down against them, so not so good. But, Raj is going to take a nice pick off the strikes and make sure they don't fully get them off. And despite them going soft light, and this is going to be their first push, it's not a very strong hold. Them already contesting the zone here, getting those 2 picks, boots. So, yeah, very neutral opening for both teams.
Yeah, now slightly favoring BOCCHI the Rock. You have a scrum happening on that right side. Strikes are out as well. He's pretty early to contest this. Despite going 3 players down, you leave that T-Tech now alone, trying to live to fight another day. But they do manage to at least stay alive from that hammer, but now being converged and dove on from the rest of BOCCHI the Rock. That is now a staggered T-Tech, your paint support coming in. So you will have to wait for them as that Luna Blaster and Carbon don't really have a lot of space to work with. Now it's just the pens just being able to poke away. They do manage managed to catch that Tetris on the left side, though. Crab also available, though, for BOCCHI the Rock to slow this down. Here comes that retake from Blessed, coming from that Zuka as well, to see if they can get in on this left side.
I know that was like 40 seconds ago at this point, but that was an excellent pick onto the pen, like messing up the cooler cycle, which you could see all of Blessed like waiting to come in. That's going to take down so many points for BOCCHI the Rock, getting pushed all the way down to 22, and you know, more to come as well. Like they do get that penalty applied, so it's not going to be like infinitely over, but you know, I think that pick on the pencil there, stopping their cooler cycle, was so huge because everyone stopped and like in their tracks to wait for the next cooler, and so it took so long. And now they have to get another retake going. So how are they going to do that? They do have that Zuka at the ready, and you know, there's a fight at the bottom there, losing out to Inka-Cola on their Luna. So I don't know, it's not such a good position. They do have the strikes, which I hope to see come out first, followed by the Zuka, but you have to stop the fights going on the left side first.
Both of those specials just trying to pinch BOCCHI on that left side, or trying to pinch Ryu on that left side, but staying alive, really impressive there. Bonk now trying to see if they can find this pick, trying to see if they can find some opening, being poked away by Mirage every step of the way, but Paint now very much favored into BOCCHI the Rock side. Everybody just throwing anything onto that point. Strikes will turn the tide into the favor of Blessed, just barely being able to save that knockout, but it's not a very confident retake, as you did lose 2 players on the side of Blessed. So this could be a very quick retake from BOCCHI the Rock, as well as it's just left to this D-Tech on this left side, just trying to hold the fort.
They stopped the bleeding, stopping the zone at 1 tick remaining, but that's not where you want to be. So you're going to be on the back foot for the rest of the game. Knock them out if you want to get this win. And I mean, this is a pretty good start, but there are specials available now on BOCCHI the Rock splash, or the crab's coming out from Ryu on the splash. So you know, how are you going to stop these resources from claiming them the zone? The answer is you don't, and it's going to buy them 30 penalty points applied to you.
Yeah, two down again. You only have lost your Luna. You still have that Reef Slider available from your Tetris, and yet again this T-Tech and Bonk just left in no man's land on this right street area. Reef Slider used pretty early to secure that pick. Very nicely done there. Now staggering out that Carbon from the rest of their team. That Lunar goes down on that left side as well. So your main aggressors both down, both staggered. If time running out, it's not an ideal position. You did take out their Luna as well, so this might be an opportunity to move forward, as well as a nice pick from Bonk, which will yet again stall the bleeding, but no major damage will really be had onto BOCCHI the Rock's side, as it's seeming like every step of the way they've been able to stall out a little bit by little, just making Bless fight for every sense of space. And you see it right here from the Tetris, still managing to find a pick before they go down themselves.
Unfortunate whiff there by Bonk, which is going to leave that left stack wide open. That means Ryu's going to be able to lock up onto it and take down Tini on the Luna as well. So they're going to be able to lock right in. But good strikes here, managing to push them off that left stack too and secure more space for them. So, I mean, they're close to getting this lead now with 26 remaining. So, I mean, they have to use a little bit more to block back in, which is, you know, it's 2 down on their side. So they are managing to secure the zone back. But, you know, push to 9, I'm not feeling so safe for them anymore.
Not a lot of time. You still have the Tetris going in on that back side. You have Ryu with that Crab as well to see if they can get in this retake. 2 specials, the aggressive specials available for the side of Bless. Here comes that Zuka. Nice shot onto the Crab. Very nicely done to secure this for Bonk, as now 20 ticks remaining. You only have a little bit more time before things start getting a little bit scary, but still hefty penalty points regardless that if you're on the side of BOCCHI the Rock. But you got to get this retake going soon.
Do you know they do have this Reef Slider, so while it's not the same beast it was before, it can still cap the zone pretty much. It does go down to the hammer though, so they don't have that resource left. It's just going to be this Crab. Can the Crab do it with like 10 ticks remaining? Another 2 down on their side. It's just up to Tini now pretty much, and it's not going to cancel in. Can they paint? Wait, they can't. Wait, they...
At the very end there, the Luna Blaster being able to paint. I believe Bonk was trying to go for the kill on that left side, but the zone being painted by the last person you probably expected, the Luna Blaster being able to secure it. Very nicely done at the end there. Just nail biter. You had Blessed with the opportunity to steal that one after that hammer throw onto the Reef Slider, and even before the Zuka onto the Crab, but at the very end that you just had Bonk maybe just trying to camp that jump and not being aware of the zone being painted behind them.
Yeah, Bonk not choosing the right play to make at that time, having to, you know, put a little bit more paint onto the zone and choosing the jump instead, not getting it either, and that's going to lose them the game by 1 singular point. So it's going to put BOCCHI and the Rock in the lead for the set. Now moving on to Clan Blitz, Scorch.
I mean, they had the research, they had the plays. It all initially had started from that Zuka onto Ryu to cause that initial disruption, that initial strong hold that BOCCHI the Rock had been able to develop during the very beginning, the first half of that match. But then afterwards as well, that very nice hammer to cancel out the Reef Slider. You had specials to counter the specials, but at the end, just not the right play to make. And this could all be originated as well of just not putting yourself in that big of a deficit to begin with, because you had BOCCHI the Rock pretty much controlling the table the entirety of that match.
Okay, I'm not sure, honestly. It's not like a push that you would have expected them to even come back from, let alone like a push to 1 and a push to 2 is about as close as it gets. I don't have a point to make here. It's just I'm still in a bit of a frazzle, and how that game ended with the lack of picking the right targets, so to say.
Right.
So I'm trying to word this in a way that is kind but mild misplay coming out there, and see if it translates into this game, because this is again one of the maps that favor Bonk. So we'll see if Bonk gets some redemption here and mauls them a little bit with that roller.
You also have the slight switch to that Wiper with BOCCHI the Rock still staying on the Luna Blaster. Only difference is Alex Rocky on the Wiper now, still holding on to that hammer, but now providing a little bit more paint and that range, of course, with the torpedoes to apply that poking ability. So could be that different element that Blessed is looking for to make things a little bit easier in this mid-fight.
I also like this pick coming out from Tinny being the Wiper, because that's going to give you so much mobility to go over the grates, and in conjunction with the roller might be the start of some big pushes coming out of them. But first they're going to have to be on the defense, which is going to start with a nice pick onto Inca-Cola. And Bonk's going to move in here, and again it's taken down by Mirage, so trading back out, not exactly the strongest hold you'd like, but they do get the threat out of their choke, and that's going to put the back in neutral.
Ryu's aggressiveness on this left side as well is very much noticed by the rest of Bless. You have Bonk just trying to see if they can poke away at them, but very interesting play out here as you have actually BOCCHI the Rock in this mid area. Alex Rocky trying to see if they can find anything. Nice hammer throw to at least get a pick before they get traded out, but so far a lot of action but not a lot of results in this mid area. You have just a slight clam advantage on the side of BOCCHI the Rock though.
Yeah, not what you want to see coming out from here. I mean, I want to point out Ryu's aggressiveness. I called out Tinny for the same reason, the Wiper being able to cross the grates there, but Ryu stalling from behind and getting so many picks and threatening people with the crab does buy them so much space, and was able to stop the flank, or the value of the flank that Tinny was making previously.
Yeah, buying space and be able to force their attention, just being able to make the enemies look both different ways. You have the initial pick going onto the side, favoring Bless. Bonk now moving up with that bubble, getting picked inside of there, however, so that bubble quickly dissolves, and so does the advantage that Bless builds, unless you have Ryu going down there pretty early. Hammer comes in as well. This is what you want from Bless to get in that initial pick. Remember the previous set we just watched, one at just 80, but this is a lot more than 80 for Blessed as the clams just keep flowing in. That Zuka coming out as well to further stall out and continue this momentum.
50 points to start. Not sure if it's going to go much further. Tinny does get a few more in, but they don't have the strongest control of that choke, and it might be wise to just back off here. A wipe might be detrimental. Yeah, Bonk choosing to jump out there, preserve their life, and the rest of the special charge is just going to end the push at 44, more than what we saw last set, but 44 is a pretty good start for Blessed here.
You have that Reef Slider available for BOCCHI the Rock as well to maybe get in a quick counter push. You already have that crab used pretty early for you. Just get it into mid. Here comes that Reef Slider, being able to pinch into the rest of Bless, but they're not able to execute onto the picks. You had a lot of them pretty low there to make that pinch with a lot of the Bless members just being trapped. And now you're just trying to look to see if you can get anything or salvage anything from this push. One of the power clams falls to the abyss. The other one not being able to make it in from Mirage. So very good defense from Blessed and a misplay from BOCCHI to not get anything out of that.
don't know if that was the play there. You don't want to wipe like at all ever, but especially here because it's gonna give all of the claim economy over to Blast, and you know you're gonna lose the cooler on the pencil too. So I'm not sure if that was worth it. All that for a whole lot of 0 points, and you know you're gonna see the inverse of that with Blast moving up here with a strong bubble position from Bonk. But we need the clams to follow this push here.
Yeah, and you have Bonk getting that pick onto the Tetris on that right side, but like you mentioned, not enough clams. You have one potentially being built onto this elbow, but by the time it's being built, the rest of BOCCHI Rock have already rallied towards this elbow, actually now moving towards this left side with Ryu's Crab being able to pinch from the other side. This could be an opportunity that BOCCHI was looking for initially. You still have to worry about the shot behind you, though, causing some attention, kind of splitting the eyes of BOCCHI the Rock. Here's that flanking Zuka. This is what happens if you ignore that shot, and it's still causing damage, still alive, almost being able to make it out, but job accomplished there, as you see. Blessed right back in mid.
They still have the slider, so they can make something happen, but I mean, now that the blast has gone down too, I would save this resource and wait a little bit before we proceed further. And, you know, Blast is taking up all that space that they just gained from that team fight, moving all the way up to their choke. But at this point, with 30 seconds remaining, it might be wiser to just not push. Like, if you mess that up, it's going to give them more resources. And right now, 44 is a safe enough lead to secure the rest of the game. So, wondering what they're going to do now. Now, they do have 2 power claims, but they are going to go 2 down on their own side, so I'm not sure that it's such a wise choice to push anymore. Now in this last 10 seconds, going into overtime, it's up to BOCCHI the Rock to make a play here.
Yeah, Reef Slider and Crab already used before overtime even hits, just trying to hunt for that initial pick. That initial pick is found onto the fence. So is Bonk, that roller down. Last 2 players on the side of Blessed are very much cornered onto that left side, but somehow the picks don't go the way of BOCCHI the Rock, as Mirage just trying to see if they can get a power clam in to stall this out, but across Zuka from the other side of the map. BOCCHI the Rock just taking a little too long to get the fruits of their labor, as they now go to game 3 with Blessed to even things up 1-1.
I don't think I saw BOCCHI the Rock have a clam ready to break the basket open for any of the pushes, and especially not in overtime. They did have that pity clam, but the question is, who's gonna give up all their space and positioning to go back and get it? The answer is, I don't know. And so, sitting at the basket with such strong team play between Ryu and Inca-Cola, they're almost like wiping them out pretty much like as a duo. We couldn't get the clams to follow. We couldn't even break the basket before another Zuka flank stops it in its tracks and gets that full wipeout to, you know, secure the game as, well, I mean, as securely as it gets. That says, you know, game.
And I believe that is Mar on the shot that was constantly being in the background on the side of Blessed, and just constantly, we saw them twice, not only in that initial just being able to stay in mid, and then Zuka from halfway the map. They did it again.
I think that's gonna be World on the shot and Mar on the pencil, because Mar is a Charger player, so that I was unsure.
Okay, gotcha.
Not that I can confirm, but you know, it sounded strange to me. So yeah. I mean, regardless, excellent play out of them, and I mean, it's exactly what I wanted to see on Scorchforge Clams. Like, there's so many avenues where you can just sneak around and claim that mid tower as soon as people move past it. So from either side, you know, Tinny was doing that with Viper, but also on the shot and Ray on the splash, getting behind them and being such a thorn on their side that just halts all the pushes in their tracks. So it's discombobulating. They couldn't really figure out what to do about it.
Yeah, and that compounded with the fact that you didn't have the clams from BOCCHI the Rock the entirety of the time just led to that result where you just didn't have any score despite BOCCHI the Rock moving up the elbow several times. So they'll just have to go back to what worked in the initial game 1. Maybe the wiper threw them for a loop a little bit as we move right back to splat zones, but we are now on Umami, that double zone map.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to have to worry about the objective and getting your claims together this time. It's going to be splat zone, so it's going to take them down. Pen plus heavy, we're in the wrong patch for this, but, you know, maybe they can make it work. You know, Ray being a famously flexible player, so I like that weapon choice, and no changes coming out from Blessed. So, yeah, I mean, you said this is a double zone stage, and heavy, while nerfed, not bad at all, and able to maintain one of the zones alone, and Pen can probably take care of the other one, which is going to leave the Tetra and the Luna to fight, and I think, you know, as I talk about it more, I'm warming up to the idea of this composition.
Yeah, you have a lot of support there, and you saw Inkola with that opening gambit Luna get the initial pick that they needed to continue that momentum. They, of course, they did get shut down on that aggression, but you did have the confidence to be able to take that fight, knowing that you had those two backlines. I mean, you had Ryu just holding around this left side on that heavy Splatling, just forcing Bless to come to them, which they do in fact do, but not before they get traded out themselves. You have the Reslider now available as well, but this mid fight, typically to be expected, a very much tug of war.
Sliding right to their death there, and you know, a minute in, we've got 13 points scored. That's the curling bomb on stream. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, not many points scored. I do think this is going to be the start of Blessed first hold, expending a lot of resources though, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to lock out. Like, they did just use that bubble and just use that Zuka, so all they got is half of a hammer coming in, and you know, it's up to BOCCHI the Rock to break back in here.
Half of a hammer, but they do have that cooler to at least help the burden a little bit of potentially losing players. You have that shot going down. Alex not being able to find one, if three falling as well. A quick wipeout for BOCCHI the Rock, who now have the space. They have the specials. You have that wave breaker as well to hold space on this left side. Hammer trying to go in to find that pick, but just mowed down in the face of that heavy Splatling. Luna Blaster in the area, not being able to make it out alive, but still this tower position is very strong, especially with this Reslider that could come in and secure a pick here.
Yeah, this is such strong position for BOCCHI the Rock to be taking, especially with the heavy Splatling and the pencil on, like, they're on the block end on that silo. Like, you know, these are hard weapons to contest, them being backlines with so much range and, you know, beaming power like you saw versus Tini there. So, I mean, how are they going to get back in? Zuka is probably a good answer, but they have to have that shot connect. But at least it's going to give Tini enough safety to lock in and use his hammer. So it's going to give a full wipe out over to Blessed, stopping the bleeding at 23 points remaining.
Yeah, now it is Bless's turn, though, to get a similar lockout, but a little bit more difficult to do when you don't have that crossfire like you were just talking about with those two longer range weapons. A great start, though, taking out that Luna pretty early. Cooler now being popped on the side of BOCCHI the Rock to see if they can at least get some space back. Zuka and Reef Slider now coming online. Mirage barely being able to live that one. BOCCHI not so lucky as they get taken out themselves. Now with the Reef Slider down as well, this could be a very strong momentum switch as this lockout now very much into Bless's side.
Now, they did have Cooler, so that slider is going to be still available for them, but, you know, the points are going by fast. Slider not going to be deployed on the zone here, securing that kill versus the shot. Honestly, I like it. So now the shot's down. They just have to take care of Tini, though. On the top side, does manage to take down Inka-Cola, and it's going to be Bless still taking control after this whole skirmish. And with 17 ticks remaining, I mean, what can you do at this point?
Yeah, your Tetras are not going to be back in time. That hammer finds BOCCHI. That is a major painter down, and with the Luna and Pen, I don't think there's going to be enough paint on that right side zone. So Blessed, a very nice retake, all started from the Zuka off of what looks like a very dangerous lockout coming in from the heavy Pen pinch. They came roaring right back with that hammer Zuka and just never looks back. Blessed 2-1, moving on in Great White.
Yeah, I mean, it was a flip-floppy match, just like the last two games and also the last set. But, you know, they just managed to hold it for a little bit longer, and, you know, it's going to buy them the set. I'm not sure that, you know, the switch in composition, while I liked it on paper, and maybe it didn't end up working out. So, I don't know. Something of odd, something to look back on. And it's going to put Blessed versus Moving Slizzy. Who's this? Question mark.
Question mark indeed. Moving Slizzy. Ace, Tacos, Baby, PSA. These are some very familiar names.
Tacos, not say Baby.
Or Bobby, sorry. Bobby, that is an O, not an A. That is Bobby. So Ace and Tacos I am familiar with. Ace, a captain, a Sun Eater. Tacos, last I remember of them, they were on Boyo, but I think they're on Sun Eater now as well. So this might actually just be a Sun Eater pickup with a couple other players. But I believe we're looking at the other match with We Are Fun, and I wish it was taller.
That would surprise me because, well, let's see. Boss, who we watching? Yeah, who is PSA? I don't recognize this player on Moving Slizzy, this being their pencil player. So, here, hold on, let's take a look. Yeah, so we're going to the other side of the bracket. I guess I'm terrible. Yeah, looking at We Are Fun, like I said, after that first set, probably going to be them winning. They win in strong 2-0 fashion. So, It's going to be them taking on I Wish I Were Taller from the set we saw first.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of good from that, from I Wish I Was Taller with the pen, with the Luna, with the Pro, but We Are Fun. I mean, 1 seed, they have familiar names, of course. We've already seen a lot of them. Mia, Noah, Kiki. But
I don't know who Mia is. I don't think I've seen them play before, personally.
yeah, I believe is part of We Are Parmesan. I think that's just like a group of friends together. I think I've seen a lot of them in this tournament, actually. Just kind of spread out throughout, I believe. Notably, yeah, they just mainly have been playing with We Are Parmesan, and then I think they kind of just... They've been kind of doing their own thing. Everybody on We Are Parmesan doing their own thing, but they were grinding up to this top level.
Huh. So I'm like squinting because they have they won Ludi Div 3 and Ludi Div 1, so it's not like they're new, but I like, despite being Ludi seeding staff, I like scratching my head at who this player is. Not to say that's gonna, you know, it's gonna mean that they're not, how do I put it? Like, they definitely earned their place in this tournament, being in, you know, semifinals now, so it's not to say, like, you know, random kid, but I'm just curious to see who this is so I can think about, you know, how this set's gonna play out between these two teams.
And as well, like, being able to be recruited by Noah and Kiki, who we've always seen at this level as well. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But speaking of things playing out, let's see how it plays out on Mahi Mahi Resort. A very, very punishing map for failed retakes. One that has the ledges having to drop down to the lowest level. Again, another map I feel like can be favored out by those AoE weapons.
Well, starting real fast here. Getting into this first game. I see a 10-star squeezer badge. I'm hoping to see it. Nope, disappointed. So we're going to see the 52 gallons and the V-Blaster, and we got these white bread compositions here in the semifinals, game 1.
Yeah, E-Later coming out from Happy can be the one to turn the tide on a very, very powerful weapon, especially on this map. You already have your Gal going down pretty early, but you have the zap for the cooler. You have the support arranged around them, but with the dualies going down early on I Wish I Was Taller, that crab not going to be available for this initial fight.
Yeah, super scrappy. Picks coming out on both sides, but ultimately there's going to be a We Are Fun who takes this first hold. So, you know, I do really like the leader pick. I think this is such a flat map, and it's going to give the leader so many like angles for them to take and just dome whoever moves into their sight lines. So excellent choice here. But I mean, it's definitely a weapon we see pretty often now, so not like shocking to see a leader anymore. That is going to be 2 down though, so if they do manage to take the zone back before the water goes down, then it is going to be like, give or take. Okay, well, never mind. So that's going to be the water going down and the cap going to I'm sure thought let's paint. There we go. So 2 down, and it's going to be the start of their first hole.
Yeah, and you'll have I Wish I Was Taller get all these specials as well, because they will have the control of that extra space to be able to paint to build up those specials. I mean, you had all 3 of those specials being the Splash Down the Crab and the Booyah Bomb used just to secure the zone. Cooler now really the only one online that isn't being actively built, but I Wish I Was Taller to receive this hit. So we'll have to wait and see if We Are Fun can really take advantage of that. They very much are just being able to 2v1, take these 2v1s, create that pinch, and just very, very effectively take the zone right back.
Yeah, nice team fight. They're getting pretty much a soft fight. But what I want to see out of both these teams, taking these islands, I think they're starting now with Tan going over on that Pro and throwing that Booyah Bomb right on the zone from, you know, islands, which I think are super crucial to retake from, especially using the crab there. I think that's where the crab is, at least. Yeah, crabbing from over on that far side, gonna buy them so much space to move. And you see Tan moving up with the safety of that crab, but gets caught out by the 52 gal, and, you know, what was a pretty good retake might not come to fruition here anymore.
I mean, yeah, for sure. You have Luck just moving up now onto this left side as well. Just Happy left in no man's land, as, like you were mentioning, they were just pincering from that island area, and that crab just provided so much poking ability where you can move this blue wave of paint, this blue, purple, whatever you want to call it, wave of paint, just slowly but surely more forward. Luck now close to a crab as well to receive this hit. Has been the crucial piece for I Wish I Was Taller, but can they survive at least to live it? That E-Later always going to be looking around. That Booyah Bomb used by Tan pretty early to receive this hit.
Yeah, I mean, 38 points here. They're about to take the lead. With this crab, they can probably take it even further, but they have to watch out for that splashdown, which is going to buy them probably like at least half cap that zone. Doesn't get very much paint, but it does take down, I think, Tufo on that blaster, so it's going to put the zone in neutral for now. But, you know, the points continue ticking down. They have to get some more paint onto the zone with 13 ticks left. I mean, you don't want this to be your last push.
Yeah, but it's looking like it might be, as it's just left to that gal on that left side, Wales, just to see if they can cause some type of disruption, but it will be for naught. I wish I was taller. Continuing their hot streak a little bit, building up that momentum, take a very, very strong game one.
And mind you, We Are Fun is top seed in this tournament, so... Okay. Well, I think the seeding is kind of fried, anyways, because this is like, I think Tan, Tufa, and I don't know if everyone else is there, but at least Tan Tufa did take second in previous SOSs, so it's not like this is like upset of the century, but you know, this is just to say We Are Fun is still first seeded team in this tournament. I think it's automatic done by Sendo, so you know, they've been winning a lot, high SP, and you know, that first seed is earned regardless. So it's an upset, not the huge upset. Hi. Yeah.
I mean, they're still continuing their winning ways, though. I wish I was taller yet to even drop a game to anybody. And you said it a lot, just them being able to shift over to the islands a little bit and be able to create that pressure from a different angle, maybe move the fights a little bit. You saw them get a little bit of a timing a bit ahead over We Are Fun, and it caused that little bit of an opportunity for them to move forward and take that space, despite them not being able to get that initial first zone pop. And again, that crab just constantly being able to poke away the E leader on We Are Fun, just not able to shut down the specials, which is exactly what you want to see, what you want out of your E leader, to cause those disruptions in your opponent's game plans and throw off those special cycles.
Yeah, I mean, you said the leader wasn't like doming the crab as one would want, but I can't say it's like all on the leaders. I'm just like,
right.
I'm thinking, reflecting on this past game and how the retake just didn't come to fruition. There were many times where they managed to put the zone in neutral and honestly had pretty good positions and picks too. But despite that, I was just taller, still managing to hold on to the zone throughout that like super long fight. And so I'm wondering where it all fell apart.
Yeah, I felt like it was just a little bit of the specials just at I believe it was the second time, with having that crab online, with having that Booyah from Tan as well. It removed that left side path for We Are Fun to even move in from, so they were all hoarded onto one side, and it just created potentially that natural choke point that you have, you don't want to retake into, of course, especially on a map such as Mahi Mahi, where you're dropping into that kill zone.
Yeah, now that I think about it, they don't really have the special rooms that typically force things like, you know, slider or like crab strikes Booyah, like you throw them at a point and that just does the job for you. They have things like triple splashdown and whale and I mean wave breaker. Like these things don't really work unless you have the mechanics and whatnot to back it up. And well, maybe not. So we're gonna switch over to the pencil core now and bring out the forge and the pen instead of the leader in this app, and a bucket too.
Yeah, and then now that weakness that you were just mentioning is definitely gone. You have the Booyah Bomb and the strikes to force things a lot easier, and you have the blaster as well, bubble very nice into the tower map. But already you see so much yellow paint on the side of We Are Fun already in the base of I Wish I Was Taller. Just so much space already in the first 30 seconds of things. We could already see 2 checkpoints being popped.
Look how far up they are. Like that bubble was in their base. They were like, first game was a fluke. Let's pack this up. And so, you know, we're down to 40 points already, and they're approaching the point at which this is usually where Inkball games are decided. Wow. I mean, well, right, cleanly getting that retake, 35 points remaining. It's a scary place nonetheless. Like you usually have games of Inkball decided at the second checkpoint, 35, or rather the next checkpoint is pretty safe for them. So it's, you know, a mildly uncomfortable hill to climb.
Yeah, Tan getting picked on that left side, looking very poised to take that left side if they were able to make it up there. But again, a quick retake in We Are Fun, just picking up where they left off. A minute 15 has passed, and still momentum very much on the side of We Are Fun, as Booyah Bomb is available as well, coming out from Captain Gay. Tufa, though, there for the quick counter, and yet again we are reset. The switch is flipped right back into this mid area, but you still just kind of wish I Was Taller just at least gets one checkpoint here to at least build momentum. You don't have to rush things, even though you were down pretty early. You just got to get that momentum built up one step at a time.
they are 2 down and then 3 down now. They're staggering a little bit, so they just have to stay on this tower and they can probably get that first checkpoint. You have to watch out for the blaster, though. Obviously, going to be able to AoE everyone off the tower. So, gonna have to win this fight. Man, they do manage to jump out and save that bubble. So, I mean, it's just we have to stay on the tower during this whole thing. And so, despite getting those picks, we haven't really gotten anything. And that strike is going to delay this push even further. But at least I think we're going to be able to break this first checkpoint.
Yeah, potentially here. You just have the crab just booping that bubble shield just stuck on that point. Lucky to be alive out of that themselves. They do manage to find that trade onto the blaster, just trying to see if they can move up, but still. Tower in that mid area, so much yellow paint, just waiting for anybody from I Wish I Was Taller to move forward. Tufa being able to poke under this left side could prove to be something. They do find one. Can they find the second onto Captain Gay? Not quite before they get picked out themselves, as we're just reset to this stalemate position, which of course will favor We Are Fun, who have no real reason to take any major risks.
Yeah, I mean, Ball is in I Wish I Was Taller's court. They have those specials. Not anymore. So, okay, they do have that crab and the bubble still to be able to start a push. But despite, being 3 minutes into the game, we still haven't gotten the first checkpoint, which is pretty much a formality. So it's just, like, the push hasn't come to fruition. They have to chain these specials together better and make a play off of it. So just to see how they continue to do that. With the dually going down again, losing that crab, and then losing the Booyah Bomb too. This being pretty much a soft light minus the pencil. So, We Are Fun doesn't have to push, but they are absolutely in a position to do so should they want to.
Yeah, minute 30 left. You have the Booyah Bomb as well for that aforementioned said push, but it goes down there. So you just have them taking these very safe 1-for-1 trades, 1-for-2 trades, but not really being able to put themselves in any major danger. But just playing keep away is the entire ideology of the game for them, but they may be looking for something even more. You have the strikes popped, you have the cooler popped, as well as you have the herd of I Wish I Was Taller just near that Bats area.
Yeah, I mean, this is where they want the tower to stay for the last minute or so. Just keep it in this, first or second checkpoint, where it's as far as it can safely go, unless they want to go further, which, fair play. But this is about where they want to stay for the rest of the game, at the very least. They just don't want to die for it, going down 2, losing the pencil as well, which is not the person you want going down. So, not sure if pushing the tower up to this point was such a good play, but I understand the rationale that they have just about, given up on pushing, and they want to get this tower to... this is essentially like Rainmaker stalling, but with the box. So...
Yeah, you have that Booyah Bomb available as well, just waiting in the wings just in case anything disastrous were to happen. But you have numbers advantage for We Are Fun. It should be a very clean hold, barring some miracle here. But 10 seconds left. You have the bubble no longer. Never mind. 3 players going down. That is Kern's most likely, as you have the pen just hopping on that tower. A very nice and very clean, potentially... you have the
Don't think too soon. Bubble on the tower is going to be nice, and Tower Moving does manage to juke out that Booyah Bomb. Gets another pick onto the Forge, and another pick onto the last. 3 down, but they've just used all these specials. So they can break this first strike point finally, after 5 minutes, by the way. So now it's up to them to move up into the bats and get this lockout. So how are you going to stop the Slosher from striking the tower and ending the game? The answer is, I don't know. Can we find them? The Happy's going to be moving up through that strike and get up. It's on the tower. But, Blaster comes through, gets 2 picks on that tower, and their 5-minute dominant hold slipped a little bit. Made me, my heart sank just a little bit. I was a little bit worried for them, but, We Are Fun is going to claim that second game in the set.
Yeah, I was about to just call it pretty early there until the timing of the bubble and the timing of the Booyah Bomb just matched at the wrong time for We Are Fun and just benefited. I wish I was taller there. You did have a good opportunity at the very end, but it shouldn't have to come down to a last second overtime of push, as We Are Fun just came in guns blazing, like we saw there, first minute of things. You had the bubble in the base, these specials, and the pace at which they played at was just ferocious and just left I Wish I Was Taller playing on the back foot for a lot of that. And same story for what happened afterwards, really what happened pretty much the majority of the game, where it was just a stalemate in mid.
Yeah, okay. Similar to Tower Undertow, where that first checkpoint is, you get it by just pressing A and readying up. That should have been formality, should have just been, gotten? I feel the same for Inkblot, but to a slightly lesser degree, but despite being 5 minutes into the game, they still didn't get it. And I think that they were only presented that opportunity by, Let's Have Fun. I forgot the team name. Getting a little bit overzealous and just, overextending their hand just a little bit. So I'm wondering, for 5 minutes, what was the disconnect, and why were they able to get, arguably, what is a pretty easy checkpoint to break?
I feel like there's a lot of pressure that you really had. I mean, of course, the 2 specials to just delete someone off of the tower or say, hey, no, you're not allowed to get on the tower, the Booyah Bomb and the strikes. Just constantly being able to poke away at that. Of course, pretty much neutralizing the bubble or any attempt at utilizing a bubble, of course, until the very end for I Wish I Was Taller, but... As well, it just seems like whenever I Wish I Was Taller would have an opportunity to move up, somebody or some player would just jump in. If it wasn't Noah, it was Captain Happy. It wasn't Captain Happy, it was Kiki, just constantly at least being in the area to make sure an initial pick from I Wish I Was Taller didn't really bear any fruits of victory.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to find the answer to that question, especially with the weapon choices they just made. Stalking their stream a little bit, they did just switch over to that vanilla 96 gallons with that ink vacuum. So if they weren't discombobulated before with just some regular guns, this is definitely going to do it. Being able to force so many fights and let Noah and Forge walk through it and take whatever they would like.
Yeah, and with these comp changes as well, the exclamation point being just the range now that We Are Fun really presents itself with of course, it being outranging that blaster and the dualies now. So they play smart, play to their space, to have the ability to just simply pace and space I Wish I Was Taller out. But already that early aggressiveness, really conversing that range, seems to be the more winning formula, at least in this initial fight. That vacuum, though, does catch one.
Managing to take down Tufa and being a very important player for clearing that choke point. So, it's nice back out of them, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to get 2 down. The pressure is still on. Crabtech was out. He's going to buy Tan so much space to move in. It does get picked off by the pencil, but, they still have 3 up. They have a good amount of clams. They just got to pass them to each other and we can get a push going here.
Yeah, as they get onto the spiral area, Booyah Bomb is available for them to continue that momentum, as well as the initial pick onto Noah, but you have that vacuum yet again being able to stall out a little bit. Tan goes down to the vacuum, at least for before they do get to that ball in, but it won't be a very impactful push, as that is a quick cleanup, a quick wipeout, and a quick momentum swap for We Are Fun, who do have the specials to play with as long as they get these clams in a quick fashion.
20 points will do on Scorch Gorge, definitely not on Umami Ruin, so not the first push you want to see out of them. It's nice that they broke the basket without points on the board, but it's definitely going to have to go further if they want to feel secure in this game. So, they're going to have to make another push at that basket, and this is a pretty good start. They have, a nice footing in mid, taking a fight on both fronts, which is not the best idea, but, the pencil does manage to take one down, and they still have some life here. And especially with that Booyah Bomb coming out now from Tan, I mean, they can definitely get this next push going.
Yeah, you have the vacuum, though, yet again, of course, going to be the major obstacle for pushing through if you're on the side of I Wish I Was Taller. There it is right there, pretty much neutralizing the second half of that crab. You do have just members falling left and right as they make it forward towards that choke point. Trades going into the favor of I Wish I Was Taller. And yet again, though, you have Tufa just still in that area. They do go down, though, but... there's the trade yet again, with Tan still alive on that top right side.
It's so scrappy. Jump in, splash down, shoot one in the head, and then they walk forward, gets shot by Tan in the head. So it's so many picks coming out and losing so much special charge. So now it's going to be up to them and their proficiency of their main weapons. Besides this vacuum that's just come online, so this vacuum can get a fight going for them should they like to. Don't really need it yet. Taking down Tan on the forge, and now it's going to be their time to walk forward in this vacuum.
Yes, now finally being used for an offensive factor besides that initial first one. Here comes the quick strikes as well. That vac caught Tan, and now the strikes as well to boot. That Booyah Bomb going to be very much stalled. So is that crab. So now it's just going to be a scrappy gunfight happening on this left side. Tan is still, Tufa's still alive, though, at least held the fort to prevent any further damage. 71 is a manageable score to come back from, as well as this low scoring match is still going. Only 3 minutes have passed, still plenty of action to happen, but so far it has been an absolute stall fest, and like you were mentioning, just back and forth, just shooting at each other.
It's less bad that they're getting a small push. Like, it's a lead, but it's a lead that I kind of don't care about. But you know, for them, it matters a little bit less because that vacuum just lets them lock in and dunk in their clam in should they need to get that lead right back. So, you know, they're going to have to do a lot of damage here. I wish I saw getting that ball in, question mark. Does get that lead, but, you know, 2 down, again, it's not going to get them a very deep push. So, overcommitting here, dying as well. It's going to be a soft wipe onto Ivyshar Taller for a lead of 7 points.
Yeah, a small lead yet again, and that has really been the theme of things, Ellie. Just a scrappy fight, scrappy pushes, and small 3-10 leads. It's not really what you typically see on Clam Blitz, but it really is a theme of it. Just the calling card of, hey, things are going to get messy here, but with a minute remaining, still anyone's game. You still have them specials being built up, that vacuum and strikes yet again. What initially led to that push from We Are Fun can be the X factor here yet again.
Yeah, you're seeing this game plan come out again. Vac's gonna start the push off and just let them walk through, you know, usually treacherous areas a little bit safely. But, you know, they do get behind and dunk that clam in, but it's going to put that score at 65, not necessarily lend them the lead. So 30 seconds to play left. They're going to have to get one more dunk of that clam.
Yeah, but as quickly as they were thwarted back, We Are Fun right back into business with mid, now using a different special, that Booyah Bomb, onto that spiral area to see if they can get any momentum going. Tam did find some distraction on that right side, but they go down. Booyah Bomb will be delayed more. 10 seconds remaining as now you have We Are Fun being pushed back all the way towards their base, just trying to recollect themselves as the full force of I Wish I Was Taller here in this mid area, ready to receive the hit.
Alright, I don't think I would push this, wisely choosing to just hold mid here with that crab tank. It's going to deny so much space. So now we're going to have to use that vacuum and make some magic happen. Unless Tan runs behind and just shoots them all. So that's 3 down onto We Are Fun. It's not looking so hot. Slash Tan's going to be sealing the deal here as that last clan despawns. And it's going to be I Wish I Was Taller, again, the 3rd game of the set.
Yeah, and it felt like a lot of the times when the vacuum and the strikes really came out, it really didn't really fruit out many successes. You saw it several times. I feel like it was just used defensively. Well, yes, that is the correct call to just, they were forced to use it defensively so many times. And when they were trying to push it into the mid area, it didn't really prove to be effective at all.
Yeah. Just put on the back foot for so much of that game and unable to execute their game plan. There's times during the middle of the game where they were able to just like walk forward with the back, you know, as you'd like to, but you know, just put on the back foot. And that composition is one where you struggle a little bit to deal with. I want to say, I don't know if the rattiness is the right word, but you know, the dualies and the blaster are definitely a thorn in your side, because like dualie is a weapon that struggles in this current meta, where if you play like a blaster or a slosher, you could probably maul it with ease, but playing versus these shooters, especially the 96, which takes a lot of skill to pilot, it's, you know, I think it's able to run free a lot more than it was in other games.
Yeah, and I was talking a little bit, and then we were discussing a little bit of the range that can bring from that comp, the 96 and the Pro, but what the difference between running that 96 and what that previous comp was is you are a little bit slower, and we saw the speed come out just on opening. We saw I Wish I Was Taller just move a little bit just faster, and we saw that bit of urgency even more, which led them to get that early aggression, which led them to get that early mid, and what initially just kickstarted the rest of the game.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what composition changes will come out for either side here. Taking a little peek, and we're making the one that I was absolutely hoping to see, switching from that 96 over to that V-Blaster, going to be able to maul that dually with a lot more ease and take on Tufa head on, because, you know, shooters generally have a losing matchup into Blaster, and Tufa was allowed a little bit too much value there. So nice changes coming out from both sides, or from, let's have fun. And, you know, second same thing over for I Wish I Was Taller.
Yeah, but I Wish I Was Taller now 1 game away from the slight upset here. We Are Fun going back to what worked in that previous win on TC. Let's see if it repeats success here on yet another TC map, still with those double GG specials.
Yeah, I mean, Ship Shape is a stage where there's one area where you can push to, and you're almost certainly going to get a push of 20. So I'm wondering what low scores these teams can pull out this time to, shock me. But, it's going to be real fun in the driver's seat now. Getting a nice few picks to start, and it's going to be them with the first push. But not a very secure lead so far.
Not very secure for sure. You do have the Booyah Bomb available for We Are Fun. Conversely, on the other side, the other Forge Pro, Tan here, looking for that early initial pick, at least causing some disruption on this left side and forcing eyes over there, as still minute in, neither side really being able to build a stronghold, as you do have slight numbers advantage on We Are Fun, as they do try to shift towards I Wish I Was Taller side. You do have that dualies going down. So is Tan. There goes 3 immediately, and there is the first strong momentum shift of the game. We Are Fun now poised to take that first checkpoint.
All right, so we got the Booyah and we got the Crab coming out, or available to come out, but I'm not sure we're going to expend it on that first checkpoint. It's pretty much a formality similar to Inkblot. So we're going to throw the Booyah Bomb at the tower, but it's not going to do a whole lot. It's just going to stop the bleeding for a little bit. So it is We Are Fun still in the driver's seat here. And, I was just thought it does have the resource to respond here. The Crab's going to come out, but they are getting pressured out by that Slosher, so it's not able to get the forward value that they'd like. And they're going to drive this tower over to 43 points, and continuing too, because they still do have a few down and more jumps coming in, so this push isn't ended yet.
It isn't for sure, especially with these specials that they have still in their back pocket. The strikes and the bubbles used in both in conjunction, as that bubble very nicely sits near this right side, and the strikes cleared the pathway. You still also have the Booyah Bomb with Captain poking away at Tufa on that Booyah Bomb, using it on the left side, not to really save themselves on that right side, and it does lead into that push, fizzling out at the very end, but that is a very winnable lead for We Are Fun, moving things all the way down to the 7-point mark. So you still have half the game to be played though, but very pleased with themselves. We Are Fun repeating a lot of what they did on Inkblot.
Yeah, high key push to 7 is like devastating, and I would be a little bit terrified moving in this last 2 minutes 20 seconds. They have to work it out for them. With not very many specials online, they're gonna have to find a way to take this top left to start. Nice pick coming out of luck on that Crab Tank, and Tufa following up and getting probably a pick on that Forge. Does manage to secure the kill, so this is gonna be their turn to break that first checkpoint. But with 2 GG specials on We Are Fun, it's not just exclusively held for the end of the game. They can still push in their tracks, whenever they'd like, and that second checkpoint is definitely a place to do so. So they're going to be, gearing up here for that defense.
Yeah, but maybe trying to get ahead before those specials can really come out. Tan already finds that bubble pick. The strikes are coming on and available. The Booyah Bomb already expended and taken out. You only have those strikes available from Noah on that right side, just waiting to see when they'll use it. Here they come. A little bit delayed on that tower, and the checkpoint won't be saved from it, as the strikes, like you mentioned, were just slightly off. Tufa desperately onto that tower. The bubble is there, but they go down themselves. Bubble on bubble action as Luck tries to stay alive, but that push not able to continue any further. Definitely an opportunity for I Wish I Was Taller to steal that lead, but We Are Fun just barely being able to hold on.
That was insanely close to getting that lead. If it was time, like, just the teeniest bit better, like the bubble came out like a second sooner, then maybe that was the lead there. But there's still a minute left to play, and they are close to another cycle of specials. That Crab is going to be the one that comes out first, at least available first, and waiting for Luck to use that now. Going to be targeting that top right area, stopping people from contesting the tower as they did just now. And now following is the Booyah Bomb and the bubble, just going to secure that top right even further. But we have to stay on the tower if we're going to get this lead. That's 3 down for them, and so unless Happy can make the most clutch play of their life, this is going to be the lead spot going to I Wish I Was Taller.
Yeah, now just desperation for We Are Fun just to get on that tower. Tan and not being able to do much, of course, with that jump in, but We Are Fun just constantly were poked away. You saw the Booyah Bomb as well as Tufa pinching from that right side to just poke away at the members of We Are Fun, allowed them to get that last second push. So what's looked like a very winnable game for We Are Fun now is a very precarious one now with 3 specials online. They do definitely have the ability to take these fights and maybe repeat some of that magic that I Wish I Taller was doing, but you do have to worry about Tan's GG Booyah Bomb, which should be coming online here shortly.
Current objective, find Tan and kill Tan. So can we keep that Booyah Bomb away from the tower? It's just going to be Noah and Captain Gay there, but that Booyah Bomb is going to come through. And that is going to bring I Wish I Was Taller to a 3-1 victory and bring them into the finals of SLS 231 here.
Wow, a very, very very unexpected twist of things. I feel like, not unexpected in the sense of this team doesn't have the capabilities. I wish I wasn't taller, didn't have the capabilities to make it here, but the really way they went about it, you saw kind of the struggles that they had on that Inkblot tower game, which was even making it past that mid area. And really, it only took one fell swoop for I Wish I Was Taller to even things up, at least in terms of the scoreboard. Just constant pushing, and more importantly, getting ahead of the timings of the specials. Of course, you did have the slight miscalculation on the strikes from Noah to stop that second checkpoint, but even after that, the specials that came and disrupted We Are Fun just long enough before they could even get in their own defensive specials.
Yeah, I mean, they had a 93 point lead to climb, and they did. Quite honestly, I wasn't sure if they could, but they do manage to come through and put the onus to push back onto We Are Fun, and just was able to come through. Credit to luck on that crab tank. I feel like the crab is most definitely the opening to most of the push, followed by the booyah, followed by the bubble. But that the play on that newly nerfed crab, by the way, still making it work, is able to get their team in, take those good fights, and secure them to win that game and now the set. So it's going to put them in position to win this whole tournament.
Yeah, and off of strong momentum as well, of course, being able to beat that 1 seed, beat these players that have been here, done that, and yes, they've been in this type of position before, but is this the time that they can finally get the job done? They have the capabilities to get it here, but now they're just waiting for their opponent between Blessed and Moving Lizzie here. Slizzy with the $sign, I think that's what it is. Whose set is 2-2 right now.
Yeah, they're currently in their game 3 with 4 minutes 22 remaining. I'm not sharing my screen. We can radio commentary this. We got this. Let's give the people a watcher.
Mm-hmm.
Here, we'll split screen this. Get some. Oh, this looks terrible. Hold on. Maybe we're doing things here. Are they on the same team? No, they're on opposite teams. Okay. Yeah, it's really even the game here so far. I mean, a minute in, and we're looking at. I think on the left side, this is Blessed being on the teal, and I'm just going to give this to you. We have and say Slizzy and the pink, and it's about what you'd see or expect to see. I mean, C Blast and 52. It's kind of like white bread, so we got all the resources to win this game. But I mean, it's pretty even so far, no?
Yeah, looking pretty even. And comp coming out from Blessed being the Octobrush and the Stamper, which is not very common with Bonk on that aforementioned brush. Going away from the roller that we typically see from them, and on the other side, a Blaster Junior Gal coming out from Moving Slizzy.
Yeah, a little bit of misplay there is going to cost them the zone. Not that they lost it, but it's in neutral now. But they are going to go 3 down, so if they didn't lose it before, they definitely lost it now. And, now it is Stay Slizzy in the driver's seat here, coming from behind with a 29 point score so far.
Yeah, Booyah Bomb as well to stall out this point. So just waiting and daring Moving Slizzy to make a move onto that zone. Bubble not being able to save that blaster, and you have the Stamper being able to move into it as well, with the strikes being able to shred. This flank, though, could be huge from Tacos, just at least providing some distraction. It does provide the necessary pinch to take that zone right back, but both sides just trading blows at the moment.
Yeah, nice picks coming out from A-Scal there, taking down 2, and that's going to give them the zone back, so they have to come back from this very small 12-point deficit, and it's not a very good start. They did just lose the zone, going back in the favor of Blessed, and so 2 minutes left to play. Lots to climb. It's not an insurmountable lead, but they are losing the zone, and they have to hold the zone if they want to get this.
Booyah Bomb's almost available as well, but yeah, again, a lot of pressure is going to be on Blessed to retake this before the lead is hauled right back. Stamper's Booyah Bomb comes out right now to immediately flip that zone as they go on to this left side, but it's still just both sides just trading out specials, neither side really being able to get that major momentum shift just quite yet, but it might be moving Blizzy's turn. If this next Booyah Bomb doesn't really hit its mark, you do have it going in here yet again. Splashdown counteractively being used, as moving Slizzy does not have any penalty to really worry about, so they could take this lead.
Yeah, they do grab that lead here, so it's going to be stay Slizzy at, push to 31, but they're going to lose the zone immediately after, so it's kind of a nothing burger lead. But, I don't know, both these teams do have specials that can just end the game whenever they feel like it. So whoever's going to be in the lead at the end of this, last minute of play is going to be the one that wins this game probably, because they have all the resources to just shut it down whenever they feel like it. Throwing that splash around the zone is probably going to buy them that. That being said, though, they've burnt through the penalty here, and 2 penalty points remaining. Now it's going to give the lead back over to Blessed for this last 45 seconds.
Yeah, just seesaw. I believe that his bonk is already in the base with that Zipcaster, but the momentum is shifting here as time is running out. That splashdown desperately used just to at least save moving Slizzy's zone, but with them being wiped out themselves, 30 seconds left, an easy flipping of the zone and all the pressure on the side of moving Slizzy. This coming up retake's gonna have to be that last one.
Splashdown does stop the bleeding here, but they're gonna have to get a push to 9 now. 20 penalty points is not a whole lot, and they can burn through that at any given time. But the strikes are impending, and that might just end the game. So they're gonna have to focus on their paint and make sure that they stop the other members from capitalizing off those strikes if they want to hold the zone. And
strikes are strikes. Immediately flipping that zone into that blue. So with that very, very close set coming to a close, we'll have Bless now moving on to finals, where they will face the team we just looked at. I wish I was taller in grand finals in Great Whites for Swimmer Sync number 231 Glory.
Now, I like thinking about how these two, holy KDR, think about how these teams play into each other. I'm thinking maybe Avshot's taller has a chance to take this home, because Bonk is on a weapon that wants to stay hidden, if not distract. So, being able to get called out by the sensor by Tufa is pretty strong for Avshot's taller.
Yeah, and Tufa themselves has the ability to not only detect those flanks like you mentioned, but also go onto their own pinches and work off of the rest of their team. Especially we see them a lot around the area of Tan. This makes sense. They've been playing together for a while. They should basically be on the same wavelength as each other, as a shooter and a blaster being able to cover for each other's weaknesses, with the shooter being able to cover for the range, the blaster being able to cover for anybody rushing them down. But like you mentioned, being able to counteract what Bonk is really working with, they could conversely not just choose to do the same thing where they don't go onto the roller and instead choose the Octobrush.
I think the Octobrush is a respectable choice here, but I worry about its struggles into this composition, because they were fighting some short range shooters before. That's a nice matchup into them. But Blaster is one that mauls Brush in general, and double mauls the Zipcaster, and the Forge as well, having a nice amount of range, able to take it down pretty much wherever it zips to. So it might be a difficult choice should they choose to play it.
Yes, especially on a map such as Robo Ramen, where you have that elbow position to really push forward with. You have the space to work with, but getting in, of course, is always going to be the issue, and has been really the determining factor for a lot of the games we've seen, where a team isn't able to execute on one of their retakes, and then it snowballs out of control. Which one of these teams that is able to really build up their specials and force the economy to favor them, the special economy to favor them, and force the other team to use unfavorable specials or just expend them just to stay alive, is going to be able to continue the momentum. But we'll have to wait and see as these teams ready up for the final set of tonight.
I'm realizing now from several sets ago, I think that Mia was like Wiper Mia, so I'm kind of dumb. We're in the lobby now, Sorry, we're not in the lobby now, are we? We are. All right, 70 seconds to go, and no composition changes that would shock me. We are choosing to play the Octobrush, which is what I had slight concerns with. But if they're feeling it, who am I saying anything? I'm just a Div 3 crapper. So
Could also be a good choice now that I'm thinking about it, maybe to disrupt Lux's crab a little bit, just at least provide some distraction, or at least provide some pressure. It was like, hey, I'm here now on this Zipcaster, you have to take a look at me. But like you mentioned, the blaster can also just direct them or just keep them away from that said crabs. But with what Luck has been doing, that crab is going to decide a lot of fights, I'm sure, in this coming up match.
certainly, and crab is going to be especially strong here on robo zones. It's got so many good places set up. Well, okay, this map is just like one little hallway down through, so there are only so many places where you can set up, but each of those places are very hard to contest and pretty much require you to use some kind of resources, like you said, that Zipcaster, to disrupt that crab. So, you know, I think I can see the rationale for it, but a little bit of fear in my heart.
Yeah, that Viper also returning as well. Maybe could see that hammer pointed in the direction of Luck, but we'll have to wait and see for that one. But torpedoes will always be beneficial to just provide that extra little bit of pain or a little bit of poking power. You do have Bonk, though, going down on that early fight, so momentum it could be on the side of I Wish I Was Taller, who have been very much known to take this aggressiveness to the extreme.
Yeah, I mean, these are great strikes here, but just get taken out by a bomb, so what momentum they had might not be as, strong as they wanted. It is going to buy them the zone, but, they're not, like, at a point lead where I'm like, oh, they got the zone. So, it's going to be 80 points for either team now, and just some trades coming out or across the board. Nice pick onto the blaster is going to take down that special, but they do have that crab tank ready for the retake after the Zipcaster, specifically.
Yeah, the nice cancel onto that Zipcaster as well. Is that a sign for things to come, with Bonk just not able to really find much out of it? But early minute of things, still anyone's game, either side trading out these specials with 1-for-1 happening right there. But pain control in the favor of Bless, but immediately going 3 players down with only their T-Tech remaining, and they will go down themselves. That is a delayed wipeout. Momentum on the side of I Wish I Was Taller, and a Booyah Bomb to be used as well from Tan to make this one hurt.
I'm feeling Tanzor right now. Out comes the Booyah Bomb, and it's going to be able to put, stop in whoever comes up this ramp's tracks. Doesn't look like anyone's going to be, though, so we're going to just throw it up that pencil and disrupt them a little bit. We're not, like, hold on, we got to paint the square before we do anything else here. But, yeah, we were in a pretty good position, and then it kind of fell apart. I'm wondering what happened in the back line. Maybe someone flanked around and took a few people down, but, it is still in I Wish I Was Taller's control, just not the strongest control I've ever seen.
Yeah, but without any penalty points to worry about at all, and that lead continuing to tick, and that crab coming out from Luck, that hammer will be utilized to at least counteract that. But it goes back to what we were mentioning of just whoever's going to control the flow of the game is the one that's going to force out these specials. You have Tufa living down there on that left side. Another quick wipeout going into the favor I Wish I Was Taller, and now you can definitely feel the momentum building up. With Tufa almost to a splashdown themselves, having that cooler at their backs as well. They should look for an aggressive play here as the jumps come in just to secure things on this elbow side, as now, a little bit of lag there. Tufa just trying to see if they can find anything going, but still a lot of pressure being put onto Bless as these strikes being forced out now to find any space for them to move in.
Not quite getting any penalty points taken off there. It's gonna go back in the control of Blessed, so it's now I Wish I Was Taller's turn to push back in, and it's a great start, taking down Tini. He's been one of their star players, I feel, drawing a lot of attention on that Viper. So it's gonna buy them the zone after getting those picks, and you see Tini again moving up, trying to get that pencil. It does not manage to kill, gets tapped shot to death by Mar. So it is gonna be, well, the zone's in Bless's control now, but I'm not gonna hold on to it for very much longer.
Yeah, and Lux's crab there just used that at the wrong time, being pincered by the Zipcaster and the strikes, now leads into Bless's momentum. Splashdown really the only special that is online for I Wish I Was Taller, as Lux is trying to build up another crab off of that early initial pick. Bonk lurking at that bottom right, daring them to pop that crab, and you already see so many bombs, so many projectiles being thrown at them that you have I Wish I Was Taller just being curled into this right side. They go down pretty early. Tan losing their life. That Booyah Bomb no longer going to be a factor on this retake, and that lead quickly changed momentum as well onto the side of Blessed.
Splatoon comes out, puts a decent amount of paint on the zone, but they're getting strikes behind them, and then there's Titty in front of them. So this is such an awkward fight to take. And then BOCCHI does finally come out, and then there's a tug of war for paint in the zone. Does go in the favor of I Wish I Was Taller, so it's gonna put 60 penalty points onto Blessed. And they're still alive in this game, but 6, they came back and got a strong, long push against I Wish I Was Taller there, and they're gonna have to be the ones to take this back.
Yeah, Luck building up another crab yet again. Feel like they've been the one to control the flow of it, as now you just have them seeing if they can get back into that elbow area. Still, that is heavily contested by Bless. Hammer is available to potentially cancel out this said crab. It is thrown there, but it's not being able to take out Luck in the process. 35 seconds left. Strikes and Zipcaster in use for Bless as Tan goes down. That Booyah Bomb no longer a factor. You have both sides just desperately painting over that zone. Blessed will flip it. That little bit more of paint and momentum going into their way, but just as quickly as they got it, they may lose it right back as overtime is looming.
They're going to lose that zone, but they do apply that penalty. So what was going to be the fastest lead swap ever is now going to have 40 more points to go. And those strikes have been thrown perfectly each time, applying so much paint to the zone all at once. So as long as the pencil can have a sight line to the zone alongside these strikes together, that's going to secure them the zone back. So can the T-Tech get a safe angle to the zone? Can the pencil get an angle to the zone? There's a flank coming out here. So if they pair up with the strikes here, they will get the zone, but I'm waiting for them to come out. Oh, they were on the retake, so they've only got a few ticks now, and I think it just might be too late.
Yeah, that's it there. I feel Blessed went a little bit early with that two-man flank. I believe it was Bonk and the Wiper, the Octobrush Wiper, just being caught out before the rest of their team were really ready, and the strikes at the very end. Maybe there's not enough time for the strikes to really have much of an impact or even touch the zone, but it was desperation time for the rest of Blessed as they all went in. You see that two-man flank just getting shut down by the 3 members of I Wish I Was Taller. Just had their number there with not a lot of yellow ink around them, and I Wish I Was Taller yet again proving that they are a resilient team. I feel like we've seen countless come from behind victories from them in just this tournament so far.
Like, I was looking for the T-Tech, who's been such a star player on that team. I don't know what they're actually using because their names, of course he won't, but whoever took them down before that final play, MVP to me, because those strikes have been like perfect placed. Like third one there and the second one and the third one, and lands all perfectly all at the same time, caps zone immediately, and that play had been stopping them in their tracks for most of that game, and keeping them from that getting close into the zone, and alongside like the mistimed retake from Bonk and Tinny, like perfectly done.
Yeah, you didn't have your frontline paint support as well. So even if the strikes couldn't have came online in time, you lose that painting presence, which forces the other 2 weapons that aren't really the best at painting for themselves, the Octobrush and the Wiper, to take very risky fights, which is what happened at the very end when you don't have the time on your side and that momentum on your side. So yet again, back to that drawing board. Bonk back to the V roller in same comp for I Wish I Was Taller there. Let's run it back this time though on Barnacle and Dime Clams.
I like the choice and to switch to V roller here. I think that weapon is good compared to the previous choices. So especially with the bubble going to be, obviously great for Clan Blitz, I think that this is the right choice for them. Just to see how they manage to get in. Though, the direct foil to Bonk is going to be too fun on that Sea Blaster. Throw all the sensors, making sure that Bonk is never able to sneakily get in. So, as long as they manage to call out Bonk and keep an eye on this guy, they get hit by a curling bomb.
Yeah, it does look like it. It does look like it there. And another thing to keep an eye on as well, not only Bonks in terms of that killing power on the roller, is going to be that bubble. You have the splashdown available from Tufa, so I feel like it's going to be a mind game there for Tufa, just making sure that they prioritize that roller and make sure it doesn't really get that value. But I Wish I Was Taller already to that early aggression. Splashdown already used to explode on that final splashdown, I believe, and they wipe out in a very advantageous position now for I Wish I Was Taller. Already down to that 50-point total, and a crab available for Luck.
Alright, we gotta cycle these clams and make sure we get the clams in the basket, but this is a strong opening from I Wish I Was Taller. They're making a statement here and starting, this game too strong. They want to be up in this set even further. So we're gonna push down to 32, but we don't have any clams to follow, and it might be the time to call it quits and back up a little bit. Bast's gonna force that decision, and it's gonna end that push at 32. But that is a huge dent to make here in the first minute and a half.
Yeah, wiping out immediately at the doorstep with the enemy immediately at your doorstep was just not the ideal start you want, but Blessed have plenty of time to bring this one back. Tan using that Booyah Bomb to secure this mid position, trying to give up no ground, or at least make it very difficult for every inch of grounds if you have this shot on the red side. Zuka almost available for them to utilize as well as this hammer about halfway done to try to pinch out this area. Pen goes down pretty early for I Wish I Was Taller, so at least some backline presence is removed. One-for-one trade happening in that mid area. Wiper not being able to make it out very cleanly, but you have I Wish I Was Taller just still chilling out in this mid area. Could theoretically keep away for the rest of this game.
Tini moved like crazy there and gets a nice pick, and keeps momentum somewhat in their favor. Comes back with a hammer, doesn't manage to get anything, taken down by luck. And so, this is I Wish I Was Taller's team fight here. Getting another pick onto the T-Tac, onto the shot, and they got full control of the site now. So he's gonna move up a little bit more, get some clams together, and we can get another push going. And they have a strong enough hold, I feel, to push or fish for a knockout here.
They definitely do. They don't have the pressure to necessarily do so, but it would remove the shadow of a doubt of Blessed coming back in this match. But so far, yet again, still Blessed has yet to even make it past this mid area, as Splashdown yet again being utilized by Tufa to just secure that plat area. But finally, the specials coming out. Nice hammer being thrown to snipe out that pen, and just as soon as I say there's no momentum, just as soon as we say there's no momentum in that mid area, Blessed coming right back with the momentum of their own with that Zuka and that cooler.
You gotta watch out for Tufa on the flank, though. Does manage to take down the pen, carrying the clam, and it's gonna halt their momentum a whole lot. Not to say that's over. They missed the clam, they threw it past the basket, and so they got a full wipeout, but they don't have the clam unless they can, rescue it. Okay, we do get the clam, we get it in the basket, but that's a pretty awkward start to what could have been a fantastic push.
Yeah, especially with your pen player being the one that has to go make that little awkward run and going down, you lose that backline presence. So this pen on the side of Idol Shows Taller just has all of the staying power they want. You have the jump in yet again, but not being able to get that second power clam in is brutal, as it could have made it a much more digestible lead. It probably wouldn't have been able to get lead off of it, but now, yet again, Bless still has a lot of clams that need to be scored, as it was even difficult to get I Wish I Was Taller on the back foot in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, they do get a nice dent into the score, but, they have to beat I Wish I Was Taller's score. And you saw how deep their first push was. You don't want them to get the opportunity to push again, so it's not exactly the position you want to be in at the moment. There's only 30 seconds remaining as well, so that pick onto Tan is an excellent start. And another two by Tinny. It's going to be 3 down on I Wish I Was Taller, and now it's Bless's turn to push here.
That is exactly the momentum we want. A Shark followed up by Tufa for the hammer. 20 seconds left, though. Time is not on Bless's side. Just need to get at least the clams, at least the framework of a push going. The hammer yet again going in. Finds the target onto the pen. Very nice throw. 3 players goes down on the side of I Wish I Was Taller. This is the opportunity that Blessed was looking for. Do they have the clams? Bonk throwing in a couple, and here comes a couple more from this mid area. Alex Rocky just being able to go there, but it's not even needed, as clams are found. Blessed from the last second buzzer managed to end the game before overtime can even take them over, as now we are reset back to a best of 3, with Blessed being the ones this time to get a come from behind victory.
Shoutouts to Tinny, mauled them with that hammer, sniped them from across the map. Don't need a leader to become the leader. That was excellent play out of them, and I'm not sure there was a hammer that didn't get value. So I mean, they broke that door wide open. Everyone was able to follow up in perfectly. You see Bonk there getting picks as well, and everyone else cycling clams perfectly. I mean, it all just came together in the I forgot the saying, but one of the hours.
And
11th hour?
Yeah,
Thank you, the 11th hour. I'm an idiot.
And yeah, like you were mentioning, Teeny with that hammer, that might be the difference for Blessed, where it'd be lucky for the crab on the side of I Wish I Was Taller. That hammer has proven to hit home true, and we'll see if there's any adaptation for what I Wish I Was Taller was doing on TC Hagglefish Market, which is our next map mode. But it doesn't seem. I wouldn't imagine they would change anything just based on the strength of that comp on tower. I mean, we've seen it prove to be very dangerous in that previous set. I mean, on ship shape, where they were down, basically they didn't score anything, and the other team was able to make it all the way down to 7.
We're going to see a little change over to the V Blaster, getting that bubble, which I think is probably the right play, because keeping that top right area on Hagglefish Tower is super important, and that bubble can also like pretty much force that second checkpoint to be taken with ease. So yeah, I like this change. And we're going to see, we're wondering, where's the GG special coming out from Blessed? And we're going to have one being the Booyah Sword, and we're seeing... Of course he won't. Not readied up yet. So I'm imagining that they're going to be switching over that T-Tech. I mean, I'd hope to see it. I think that their strikes were extremely strong in that first game. And so I think they can translate that value over to tower control as well. And, I hope to pick it. Flingza?
Yeah.
What?
Flingza, coming from, I can only assume, is Bonk. I mean, that's the only roller player I can imagine it coming from, but not what I would have imagined them really bringing out. I would have thought they went to the Octobrush, but Flingza is a much welcome choice here, just to throw a little bit of spice. Those missiles can provide a little bit of a disruption there, but maybe that new wrinkle can just prove to be a little bit more of a game changer, as we don't see the trip strikes coming out from Blessed, though we do see the V shot.
The new wrinkle is going to be my eyebrows, because I'm not so pleased about this choice. But we'll see if Bonk is able to prove me wrong here, because you see these vertical flicks, unlike the V-roller, each vertical flick, each vertical bonk takes 12 business days to come out, so I'm not sure if it's going to work as well. I mean, you just use H-flick, hit luck over the head, and that's going to be the first pick and of the game going over to Blessed.
Yeah, maybe just providing a little bit more of that danger from that, the killing capability of that. You have the Booyah Bomb used pretty early from this Stamper, but early aggression, early typical openings with either side just trading out specials, trading blows, just trying to see if they can find that opening advantage. And it does look like I Wish I Was Taller do find a couple of legs from under them, but as soon as I say that, you have 2 going down. So reset back to this mid area with a wipeout, actually.
Not sure if that was the right dive to make. That Zuka already came out, so you're not going to get any special charge taken off of that kill. You're losing your own crab there for that pick, so it's going to be them walking that first, or the tower over that first checkpoint. You see Tufa in mid here. He does go down to Bonk on the roller, but, of course he won't force a jump out as well. It's just Tinny up there alone. Tinny's dead, probably, question mark. So that first push halted at the first checkpoint, which is like kind of a nothing burger. So while they had a full wipeout completely, it didn't really go the distance, and low keep didn't really matter.
Yeah, so maybe wiping the sweat off of your brow if you're on the side of I Wish I Was Taller there, that it wasn't much worse. Luck Crab available now, just to try to see if they can poke away at anybody. Booyah Bomb also used in conjunction, but that Zuka takes out 2. Very nice collat there, completely shutting down that push. Tufa barely staying alive, barely being saved. Bonk not being able to capitalize on that jump area, and still living to save the day and making them pay.
See, if that flick was a little bit faster, it would have worked. Let's hop in V-roller. But Tufa's here continuing their push and getting another 3 picks and entering the Aura state too. And if this isn't what starts a push, I don't know what does. Tufa opening the doors wide open for I Wish I Was Taller, taking that tower over the first checkpoint now.
Yeah, bubble available as well to get past that second checkpoint, which we were mentioning before this game even started. That cooler being popped as well, just to stay alive. And managing to actually take out somebody, that Booyah Bomb coming out from Tan. Still aurified, by the way. Tufa moving around to this tower and trying to protect their tower rider. The bubble is up as well.
Down. On the top right, we need someone to claim that area, and Tufa tried to go up there, but Tinny does take him down, so, they don't have the tower, or sorry, the control at the top right. But something just happened over there in the back line. I think Mar and Luck worked together with a lot of chip damage, taking down 2. It's going to break that second checkpoint, and they're well on their way to the third one now. This is a scary position to be in if you're Blessed.
Yeah, Tufa's down there at the bottom right. They get quickly cleaned up, but like you were mentioning, it could have proven to be a lot worse if Tufa had actually set up, had been able to set up on that right side before they were thwarted, but it didn't really matter in the end. Missiles now being utilized just to get back into this mid area, same as the Zuka, but not really finding much out of those specials other than just some more time to get that tower right back into this mid area. 1:30 remaining into this match, so time running out. Tufa being taken out on this left side is a good start though for Blessed.
Yeah, Tan trapped in the corner. Wisely chooses to jump out with the power of that cooler, and so, they've effectively been all forced back to spawn. And, it's now Bless's turn to push. Now we have to secure this top right area and make sure Tufa doesn't get, a pick onto us. But instead, it's going to be luck on that crab tank, taking them down and stopping that push in their tracks. Another 2 down, again onto Blessed, and, it's going to be I Wish I Was Taller walking back in with minimal ease and only 1 special expended.
Yeah, we're nearing that minute mark now, and we're near this state of, again, just playing keep away. I Wish I Was Taller can't really score many more if they really wanted to, but under no pressure to do so, and you want to save those specials really towards the very end. You could push the tower up a little bit more just to keep some space in between you, but nothing really much to do in terms of being able to take those risks, as it is ball very much in the court of Blessed as they try to move forward off of this. They do have the missiles and the Zuka to really work off with, but can they find its value? That is the major question as they try to take this first checkpoint.
Look at Tan jumping back over and over and over. Recognizes that they have the game-winning play to make, so they want to save that special charge here. But they do have to stop the push because 20 seconds is enough time to get that lead. So out comes the crab, and it's going to stop the tower at after that first checkpoint. But the push isn't entirely over yet. Bonk's still there, and so is the pencil player. So the question is, how are you going to take care of Tan and get that Booyah Bomb offline before the end of the game?
That is the question, and it may not even have an answer because you have Tan already in the Booyah Bomb state, throwing it at that tower, and there goes the rest of Blessed as the jumps won't be able to make it in time. Tan riding that tower to victory in that game. We're going to a game 4 with Blessed up 2-1 off of a very, very impressive push that was developed mainly through Tufa's just 3k in that mid area.
Yeah, they... off that momentum, they just couldn't get back in. Blaster is such a difficult weapon to dislodge, and then also the Power of the Crab Tank. And getting that special at the perfect time and deploying it in a way, in conjunction with the pencil player, where you could just combine that chip damage and just keep them dead and buried. And so the continued, team play, just securing everything needed to get that push down to a hell of a lot farther than Tower Control Hackfish games usually go, no?
Mm-hmm. And as well, on that same token as well, when you don't expect a push to really go that far, you kind of think that Blessed didn't really have the tools to kind of stall out themselves. Not only did they not have I was kind of expecting the trip strikes myself personally to really come out, but I know especially you were talking about the choice of the Flings a Roller, those Tenna missiles, I feel like weren't really finding the necessary value as you kind of expected.
No, I don't think it really mattered because I feel like the power of missiles in this game is that because it's not like Splatoon 2 anymore where you just trip over each other and you all die. It's I think it's most effective against slower weapons that might get tripped up and still get Splatoon 2 to death. So when you have weapons like the Forge and the Dually and the Blaster all capable of moving, and then they have the mobility of the Cooler where getting stuck a little bit, it doesn't halt them in their tracks at all.
Right.
Meet potential special. What does it do?
Yeah, so you kind of want to think if Blessed maybe just wanted to change up a little bit to maybe throw a curveball, but the real curveball hit them right back in the face as it didn't really prove to be as effective as we move to our 4th game. Clamblitz Museum is the next choice. So I could imagine Bonk maybe going back to that V roller still for the bubble, still providing that potential value, but I see you're shaking your head.
Oh, we got the Comet's Octobrush, much to Superior Joe Shout out our head TO for tonight's delight, picking up that Kraken, which is, we were talking about the bubble being a good choice for Blitz. I think the Kraken is going to be just as good. Not that it can do the stupid things it used to be able to, but it's still going to ward people off that basket area with relative ease.
Yeah, so Kraken, the different element here, maybe proving to have more value than that Tenna missiles did, but we'll have to wait and see. You have the Autobomb as well to maybe snuff out Tufa. You already have the Wipeout coming out from Bless, already off to a blazing start as Bonk wastes no time to get that initial score. Follow-up Clams incoming with that Kraken as well to cause some disruption and force Tan into an awkward fight on this right side.
Yeah, first push is going to go to them, but it's going to stop at 80, which is, I suppose that's okay for Museum, considering how hard it is to reach that basket. So we'll take a basket pop, and maybe it's the same as that Scorch Gorge game from, 20 years ago. So, yeah, now it's I Wish I Was Taller's, time to get back in the mid here, get a little bit more control. Definitely have to paint up a lot better now, especially with the Octobrush sharking around and going to be a forward. Hammer does take down 2, though, and so all the momentum that they had off the specials that they used are just gone. That's 3 down, leaving just Tufa alone in mid. Luck does jump in, think they were coolered, so they're able to save that ball. And it's not like they lost all their progress, but that's definitely awkward, sending them back a little bit.
Yeah, and Teeny there with the hammer. Very aggressive specials throughout the entirety of what Blessed is running. Zuka, Kraken, Hammer, all of these weapons, all these specials have the ability to just hoard a member or just force you to just simply run, as Tufa is in that awkward corner, just forced to jump out just due to the nature of the Kraken, the presence of said Kraken. You have Teeny on that wiper on the right side to maybe provide some momentum for Blessed, but they weren't able to find much, as yet again reset to what we saw a little bit in the beginning, the stalemate in the mid area before all things went hectic.
Alright, so we gotta make sure to find that Octobrush on the right side before we get pushing further. Excellent taking down the Wiper, who's been such a huge thorn in their side, and having checked off those 2 boxes, they're able to move in. Now, Bonk goes down, so that's that second box check. Now they have to get through this shot, and now with a lot of picks, coming in staggered fashion, I was about to say they're able to move up that ramp, but look at Tini on the backside. Doesn't get much value besides getting them to all look at him. And now, it's their time to push. So stalled a little bit by Tini's flank, but unsure.
Yeah, Tan also trying to force some things just straight up the middle. You still have Tufa on this flank side drawing some eyes themselves, but they go down. Very much similar manners with not only Tini, but also with Tufa just trying to draw eyes for the rest of their team. But in the end, ended up with neither side really working out. So reset again back to this ground zero area. And you're talking about how difficult it is to push onto this map. We're seeing it exactly played out here with neither side really being able to do much off of that initial wipeout.
Yeah, out comes the Kraken, and that's going to bully this crab to death, and gets the pick on to Luck on the dually as well. So excellent value out of that. But look, it's similar to Tini, Tufa's behind them, but doesn't have the mobility that the Wiper does and gets taken down. There's a jump as well, so, it's going to stagger them a little bit. Not sure what the thought process was behind there, but, they've committed to it, and that's going to be 3 down, 1 jumps out, pretty much soft wipe, so, we were wondering if they're going to get another clam in. They do, and there's 2 more power clams. Hold on, pause. This is going to be a huge dent in the basket, and that's pushed down to 30, and this is hard to pass for Clams BCM.
Yeah, and all it takes sometimes is that initial mistake with what we saw there. 2 people jumping in, dying, and then the third to the Zuka. Immediately, it was full steam ahead for the rest of Blessed, who saw that and light up their eyes, just like giving them an opportunity, which is not what you want in a closeout potential game. Minute and 10 remaining. Still a couple specials to be used on I Wish I Was Taller. That splashdown and that crab now being used by Luck, but here comes that Kraken yet again, pretty much right on cue every single time. Bonk has just been in that area to just counteract that lucky crab, but still not much really to be had by I Wish I Was Taller in this mid area, as Bless can definitely play keep away now.
There's enough time left in this game to make something happen, and they got the specials online too, but not if you get flanked by Tini, and of course you won't on the shot, and it's going to be so awkward for you. So, if they wanted to, they could push again. They do have that power claim, they do have that Zuka, but let's go for a KO.
Yeah, and they're looking very poised to do so right now. Bonk is in that area, doesn't get the power claim to make it in there, and now it's just left to I Wish I Was Taller's devices. Now players falling left, right, and center for Bless, just left to Bonk themselves to try to live to fight another day. As here comes the horde of I Wish I Was Taller, a tall task ahead of them, though, that they have to make it down all the way to that 30-point threshold. They already lose a power clam on that backside. No one was able to grab it, so they're only working with 1 right now. Tan with the Booyah Bomb being utilized. You do have the splashdown and crab available, but Bonk already early there with that Kraken, trying to see if they can find any presence, just stalling out to this random area. Tufa just rushing ahead on this left side, but here comes finally the rest of I Wish I Was Taller. You have Praise God moving in with that ball, being able to throw it in. Here comes the counteracting Zuka. Tan is there with a couple more clams, but it doesn't look like there are many players left in the area, as we are potentially here going to a game 5 with Praise God the last player standing on that pen, with Luck going in as well. We are moving to game 5 here for grand finals of Swimmer Sync 231.
The question I was going to ask was that push worth it? Like, they dunked that clam in and they missed that other clam, and I guess that wasn't what they wanted. But, when they walked away with just, a basket break and they gave them an extra penalty clam, I was like, this is going to give them so many more resources to make that retake. And then I watched that clam blow up, and then I was like, there were many question marks on my head. So, that answers my question. It was worth it because of the mild oops on the the ball juggling. So that's going to move us into our game 5 here on Zones Mahi.
Yeah, but I feel like the decision shouldn't be because of the other team making a mistake with that clam, because it could have been a potential opportunity when they made one clam in and the other one comes in. You're down to that 40-point mark, and it is very winnable for I Wish I Was Taller at the tail end of things, but both teams taking advantage of the other's mistakes. I mean, the reason why Blessed was able to get down to that point threshold to begin with was, again, the 2 free picks that I Wish I Was Taller just gave Blessed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure what happened there. It just kind of all fell apart. Like, the attempt at the push in overtime was good. They were worried about where Tini was and called out Tini before Tini could take down Mara on the pencil. And that was excellent. Like, team play of the tap shots and pen, and then the crab, as always, from Luck, using that, newly nerfed burst shot. Took down Tini, and then they move up onto plat, and it was all going good. And then it didn't. So, I guess there's just a slight disconnect. And I suppose that they used all the resources early, because I think the Booyah Bomb preceded that. And the blaster was not so close to the bubble, so they just lacked the steam to continue what could have been, they're calling this the hypest overtime retake of SOS 231.
Right, and also the change from Bonk away from the rollers and onto that Comet Octobrush, which will be remaining here, has been very detrimental to what Bless is attempting to, or what I Wish I Was Taller is attempting to put down in terms of Lux's Crab, and just pretty much neutralizing that factor. And if you neutralize that, you remove a very key special that is very crucial to the operations of I Wish I Was Taller.
I want to note that between games, Tini has slapped on an extra main of Special Charge. They already had like a quirky build before with a main, but they've added a second main, so I guess they really want that hammer. I mean, it's going to be foiled, and they're going to lose the hammer and getting picked out, but their team's going to be coming in and taking first control of the zone.
Yeah, this Kraken yet again doing a lot of damage, being able to camp out a jump as well onto Tan. That Booyah Bomb yet again being denied even further. A great opening start for Blessed, who they're just putting this special economy from I Wish I Was a Taller into much disarray, but here they come along here again for a very crucial retake that could decide the flow of the game with 3 specials online.
Push to 50 in 50 seconds, not exactly what you want to see, and the hammer's out here fighting the Thule. Does not win the fight, which is going to be huge, so Duck does have this crab tank as a resource to get back in. So, we're going to be probably going to be able to get the zone here and stop the bleeding, applying 51 penalty points to Blessed. But, 33 points to start in that first minute. Excellent push coming out from Blessed.
Yeah, but now this initial flow has slowed down to a more standstill with I Wish I Was Taller in control of the zone, yes, but not a strong control, as you have the strikes coming out from that T-Tech on the side of Blessed. Kraken also available from Bonk before they go down on that left side. Tufa just showing their presence from that splashdown and that Booyah Bomb. There's just no getting out of that if you were that T-Tech, but now, some of that momentum flowing right back into I Wish I Was Taller's side as Bonk tries to maybe cause some havoc before this retake actually truly starts.
You see like a hammer being popped like way far in the back line. I'm like losing. Okay, hold on. That was in their base. I'm like getting tripped up with which side's which. It's not their base. Okay, it was a really deep flank from Tini, popping hammer all the way in the back line. So kind of discombobulating the team and gonna buy them the ability to walk back in the zone and claim it. So now look at the left side there. There's a fight going on with just Tufa and Tan. Not sure if it's gonna be wise to fight it here. Comes the splashdown, which is gonna buy them the zone back as well as the Booyah, but that's a lot of resources used. Gets Tufa and Booyah. Hold on, I was gonna like give them flack, but this is excellent now.
Yeah, that Booyah Bomb, I was looking at that bottom right side and catching out 2 members has completely turned the tide of this game. Now Tufa being able to camp under these very dangerous ledges that you do not want to retake from. Luck is also there as well, but Bong jumps right in to find that trade. Not the ideal trade you want to look for as Tufa finds 2. Coming from those jump shots, the zone may have been painted in the backside, yes, but now flow has been achieved. A dangerous thing to have if you're on the other side with Bless now having to force this retake into a crab.
Alright, and we're gonna see the Kraken come out for the crab as always, and the hammer too. I mean, if the Kraken doesn't here, this certainly will, and so it's gonna be 2 down on I Wish I Was Taller. But look at the pen and the T-Tech stuck all the way back here, not able to assist. But as that closes up, they do get in and paint the zone over for them. And I mean, that's another 2 down. They've just gotten 2 more picks onto I Wish I Was Taller, so they're confidently in control here and able to start their own lockout, furthering their lead of 33.
Yeah, penalty points ticking down now, so this pressure is going to build for I Wish I Was Taller to get into the zone area. Splashdown, the only special available on the side of I Wish I Was Taller. You already have Luck going down as well, so that crab going to be delayed. Splashdown, not enough to counter that zone, and now this is dangerous territory for I Wish I Was Taller. Now Bless just has to sit back and wait for that initial push. Tan goes down as well. That Booyah Bomb no longer going to be a factor, but they're quickly back from that cooler. Here come the specials, potentially that crab being utilized. Here waiting for that Booyah Bomb, that Kraken just desperately trying to walk all over the zone to paint it, and here is barely the save for I Wish I Was Taller to just live to fight another day, but yet again, still being put on the back foot. Those specials just used just to survive.
Yeah, expending so many resources just to stop the bleeding, and they do at 5 points remaining, applying that penalty of 51. So, you know, they got the last 54 seconds to play here. They do have opportunity to get a hold, but they've only pushed to 47, so there is a decently tall hill to climb if they want to get this game. They do have the resources now, though. They do have that splashdown ready at the ready, and so is that crab. The crab does go down, though, so it's just the Booyah Bomb, and, you know, they're a little bit disjointed right now. Like, 10 and 2-4 separated, that's not what you want out of that strong fighting duo.
Yeah, Luck does have a crab available, but what is available on the other side as well? This bonked Kraken just waiting in the lurks. I know as soon as that crab is going to be utilized. Bonk is right there. I mean, you already have them sizing each other up on that right side. Cooler being popped as well from Bless, which will be huge for this upcoming retake. You already have the hammer being thrown Luck's way just to disorient that crab, but now with that crab out of the way, Bonk can freely use this Kraken to hurt the rest of I Wish I Was Taller away from the zone. Here come the horde of specials, the vault of all the specials on the side of Bless being used on the tower, and Bonk jumping from the high ropes, making out 2 and securing game 5 and the tournament for Bless. Your winners of Swim or Sink number 231 in dramatic 3-2 fashion is Blessed.
They had to let it go to game 5 for the cinemas. They closed the room! Wow. Okay. Things happened. So that is going to be Blessed taking the tournament. I mean, it was a nail biter. Like, in that first 2 even games, like, it seemed a little bit scary for them, but they do manage to rein back. And I Wish I Was Taller, I'm not sure if they've won SLS before, but like this close just by 1 game by 40 points, and you know, it was right there. So a little bit of heartbreak, but you know, damn good performance to get all the way there in the finals of Great White.
Yeah, and I feel that the major change that was made, not only from that really decided the set, but also we saw them show off their prowess at the very end. Their bonk on that Comet's Octobrush, that Kraken, provided a new wrinkle for what Bless was running that countered a lot of what I Wish I Was Taller was trying to put down. Of course, you have them basically just stalking Luck the entire time, but even at the very end there, the use of the main weapon to just rain down ink from above on their own block area just decided that entire game at the very end.
Yeah, I don't know. They're so disjointed by Tinny, especially. Like, I don't think we watched each time, but I definitely couldn't, even if we did, could not count the amount of times that Tinny was on that flank and causing that disruption. And so with the combination of their flank and forcing all the members to like turn around, you saw in the final seconds of that game where Luck was, or not final seconds, like when they pushed to 5, Luck was forced to turn around, wasn't able to use the crab immediately, and so that support wasn't able to come out because while the members were pushed up, Luck was forced to deal with his flank. So, you know, across all these games, Tinny was such a thorn in their side, and I think is probably my star player for this set.
Yeah, with Bonk staring at them from their own stack, and then Tinny on the other side threatening that hammer to just completely wipe them from that game. The disruption that Bless was just able to create definitely showed its fangs at the very end there, where it just really left I Wish I Was Taller frazzled, which wasn't something we saw that commonly at all, but in that very decider game at the end there just proved to be that little bit of a difference.
When it mattered most, all fell apart. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, congratulations to Blessed taking the tournament and taking out a formidable opponent in I Wish I Was Taller, but sadly, it's not going to be them who takes the trophy tonight.
Yeah, and with that being said, that is the conclusion of our broadcast. If you were curious about how third place turned out, we had a 3-1 less dramatic victory for We Are Fun there, so they got that consolation for making it onto podium. So blessed, I wish I was taller, and We Are Fun are your podium for swimmer sync number 231. But like I mentioned, that's it here for our SOS broadcast. Ellie, do you have any plugs?
That I do. Hold on, I was setting this up. Wait, let's do magic. I can hit the. Oh, wait, dang, that's not pointed up high enough. Sign up for my tournament. We got the SWS 20. There's like delay, and I'm thinking I'm pointing the camera right. I'm not. SWS 26 in like 2 weeks. Qualifiers July 18th, 25th. Register 10 a.m. Pacific. There's no longer Eastern qualifier because I'm washed and terrible. But yeah, Western qualifiers, July 18th, 25th. Let's register. Wow.
Yes, definitely go check that out. Happening here on this IPL. Only plug I'll do is my Blue Sky at Rocket One Blue Sky Social. Shoutouts to Justin, our wonderful streamer. That'll be it here for us as this edition of SOS. See y'all next week.